Elation and disappointment go hand in hand in a sport like racing, from a winless streak broken one week to a broken race car the next. The defending series champion has won twice, but has only one other finish in the top 15. No one has been immune from this up and down ride in '98. Every driver with a top 3 finish has also placed 23rd or lower. Consistency has always been the key to winning the championship, but so far, no one has been able to find that element. Even the dynamic duo at the top of the points have experienced this emotional roller coaster. And today, NASCAR's 50th anniversary season continues at the oldest and shortest track on the Winston Cup schedule, the half mile at Martinsville, Virginia. From humble beginnings back in 1948 to the fastest growing spectator sport in the country, ESPN salutes NASCAR's 50th anniversary. We are live in Martinsville, Virginia for the 8th race of the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup schedule. Today, it's the Goody's Headache Powder 500. Rusty Wallace has a 24-point lead on his teammate Jeremy Mayfield going into this race. Defending series champ Jeff Gordon 5th. Daytona winner Earnhardt has slipped to 9th. Johnny Benson has moved to 10th in the point standings. Here at this historical track, it takes a combination of several factors to survive 500 grueling laps of competition that lay ahead.
To master Martinsville, the three-prong attack starts with parts. From brakes to bearings, tires to trailing arms, the torsion and temperature takes its toll. Personnel, the garage area gladiators must battle the elements, each other, and the clock. No sacrifice too great, no contribution too small. It takes experience, efficiency, and plain old elbow grease to stand tall. But it all boils down to performance. It's simple. Conquer or crash at close quarters. Drive the line without stepping over. Smell the concrete, but don't smack it. Be aggressively patient. It's all in knowing when to slow and when to go. That's the total package. Parts, personnel, performance. A package that can propel your team to the pinnacle of the sport. A package that can make a long afternoon on a sinister short track seem almost bearable. A package that can salvage a season or save a career. Just how important are those three clinical elements? Well, I give you Team Penske and current point leader, Rusty Wallace.
For Rusty Wallace, 1997 was a dismal year. An uncharacteristic 11 DNFs put preseason predictions of a possible championship run on the back burner. Last fall, Rusty came here looking for redemption and appeared well on his way until...
Black flag, Rusty Wallace for jumping the restart. I believe that's the call. They want Rusty on pit road.
As bad as 1997 was, 1998 has been even better. No wins yet, but he's found the top 10 consistency to lead the points. Rusty loves Martinsville. He's got 6 wins, including 4 of the last 5 spring races. In the 1990s, Martinsville could be called Wallaceville. Chassis number 16 will be at the hands of Rusty Wallace today. Now, this is an old race car they call Ronnie, and it's named after the late chassis builder Ronnie Hopkins. It's been great here at Martinsville. They've won here twice, and last November, they finished second with this car at Phoenix. But remember, it's been 36 races since the Miller crew has gone to victory lane. What will the right equation be today? Well, it might be Ronnie, Robin, and Rusty.
The Martinsville Speedway has many unique characteristics, including this very tight pit road. Today, this will be a hectic place in a very frantic race. Teams know pit road is a ticklish test where flawless execution is handicapped by space and time. Movements measured in milliseconds, results measured in memories. Pit road means a slow drive down Main Street. The goal? Shoehorn your car into its private stall without hitting anyone or anything. Tires are always a factor, yours and the other guys. Stop-and-go traffic here is worse than a New York rush hour. Pit stops will be 17 electrifying seconds of skill and will. So don't miss them, because while the race won't be won on pit road, there's a good chance it will be decided here. Put your 17-foot car in this 27-foot hole. Hold the brakes and hold your breath. Hope the guy in front of you doesn't pinch you in and the guy behind you doesn't beat you out. For you and me, it's like being stuck in the drive-through window line. You can't get around that guy ahead of you, you can't back up, and the service always seems to take forever. Mistakes here will be supersized, and the entire team will pay the price.
From heavy rain yesterday to heavy sunshine today. Beautiful day in Martinsville as we get set for more racing. And they're saying down there and all around, as a matter of fact, the guy that wins today will be the guy that has the brakes, Ned.
Yeah, the guy who saves his brake best. More than likely, the driver we see in victory lane this afternoon will say that I saved my brakes and had some brakes that I could race with near the end. Now, fans, if you've ever driven in mountains and went down the mountain and used your brakes 10 or 12 times, you know that the pedal begins to feel a little bit different as the brakes heat up. Well, consider this. If the drivers, those who run 500 laps here this afternoon, will use those brakes 1,000 times, twice every 20 seconds, much harder than you would use them in the mountains, and that puts a premium on brakes.
It really does. And there's another thing that this little tough racetrack is tough on, and that's engines. Because they got to turn the engine so many RPMs to save those brakes you were talking about, Ned. Over 9,000 RPMs today. And will they last for 500 miles? We'll find out.
Well, Bobby Hamilton, Rusty Wallace, and Jeff Gordon will start first, second, and third today. And those three drivers have led 82.7% of the laps run in the last three events here at Martinsville. The starting lineup and the green flag are next as we get set for NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. ESPN Speed World coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville, being brought to you by Miller Lite, to remind you that whenever you're feeling good, it's Miller time. By Mobile Synthetic Motor Oil. Nothing outperforms Mobile One. And by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. The engines have been fired. In a few seconds, the drivers are going to pull away and take a couple of warm-up laps and then get the green flag for 500 laps of competition. Martinsville is just a little bit more than a half mile in length. These front and back stretches are 800 feet in length, and the banking in the corners is 12 degrees. Today, the track record held by Jeff Gordon, set back in 1996. The pole speed, 93.1. They'll need to come in for fuel between laps 150 and 170, and the purse amounts to over $1.8 million. Now, here is the Walmart EverStart starting grid on the pole. Bobby Hamilton has his fifth career pole. On the outside of the row will be Mr. Martinsville, Rusty Wallace. Jeff Gordon will start in the third position, and alongside Ricky Rudd, who has his best starting position of the season. Back in row number 3, David Green, also his best start, and Ken Schrader. Bill Elliott will start in 7th position alongside John Andretti. Row number 5, Joe Nemechek and Bobby Labonte. In the 6th row, Rich Bickle substituting for Greg Sachs and Ted Musgrave. In the 7th row, it's Jeremy Mayfield, second in points, and Darrell Waltrip, the winner of most races here among active drivers.
In row 8 this afternoon, or this morning, we find Jeff Burton and Kyle Petty. Jeff Burton, the winner here last fall. In row 9, Kenny Wallace and Mark Martin, 2 wins already in 1998. Back in row 10, Greg Bodine and Ward Burton. In row 11, Sterling Marlin and Ernie Irvin. As we look at the rest of the field, Ned, do you think the weather delay has caused these guys any kind of problems?
Well, there will be a difference, I think, in the way the cars handle, because the sun seems to work better on this racetrack, or cars seem to work better in the sun because of the cement in the corners here at the Martinsville Speedway. Cold tires on that cement just don't do too good, so I think that it'll play to the favor of some. I bet there might be some that'll miss the setup, because when they set the cars up here on Saturday afternoon, it was cloudy.
Well, it is definitely a green racetrack, because we had rain and lots of it yesterday that continued into last night. But overnight, the skies cleared, giving us a beautiful, although cool day here today for this race. There you take a look at the provisional starters. And back in the last position will be Terry Labonte, who had to take a previous champion's provisional to get into the race. Now, those that missed the race, they number 3, Wally Dallenbach, Dave Marcus, and Gary Bradbury. It's unbelievable that we're on a Monday. What did all these people tell their employers is what I want to know.
I think Dr. Jerry Punch was talking about earlier, starting a business where he could give each one a medical note from their doctor to the employer when they get back, because there's obviously a lot of folks supposed to be at work today.
We we have lots of onboard cameras for you throughout the race today. Jerry Nadeau will be starting back in 42nd position.
Todd Bodine is our next, the Tabasco onboard camera. He starts back in 34th spot.
Hut Strickland also carrying a camera, starting back in 25th.
And then Mark Martin, the Valvoline car. He will be starting 18th.
There's Kenny Wallace, who starts 17th on the grid.
Bill Elliott, McDonald's car. That's a good year going, starting in 7th spot here at Martinsville today.
And from the outside of row number 1, riding along now with Rusty Wallace, as the pace car still has the field in tow. Today's field has 22 Fords, 14 Chevys, and 7 Pontiacs. Right now, Ford and Chevy are tied for the manufacturer's lead in 1998. Before we go green, a report from Dr. Jerry Punch.
Look for a lot of teams pitting on the backstretch to hope to get possibly an early caution flag and come in and make a 2-tire change. You need to run enough to make sure you get everyone with pit, but a 2-tire change will allow them to catch up toward the front, then possibly be there for the rest of the afternoon.
As Benny and Ned were talking about, watch for how these cars run early in the race, because some guys did make chassis setup changes this morning to get ready for the changes in the track. Other teams feel in 50 laps we'll be racing on good old Martinsville, and you'll want your car exactly how you had it on Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. Some guys probably guessed right, others not so good, Ray.
Well, Bill, there are 2 trains of thought on the rear end gear today. Some folks will run a 620. That will help you not spin the tires coming off the turn, but most of the guys have gone with what they call a 633, and that's going to help them have a lot more power coming off of turn number 2 and turn number 4.
Pace car takes the hard left. And the green flag waves. Hamilton is leading his 3rd race of 1998. He led at Bristol. And one other race, and now is in command here in the early laps of the Goody's Headache Powder 500. Wallace, Gordon, Rudd, Schrader, and Andretti are following. And some side-by-side action back here.
Yeah, Mark Martin is making some pretty good time up on the outside. What happens on the start of the race?
Oh, we got a crash.
Darrell Waltrip and Jeff Burton.
Caution flag's waving. We see the official signifying to the crews that the caution flag is out. Jeff Burton is trying to get his car going and avoid losing the lap. He's going to back in his hole now. Try to put in 1st gear and drive away.
So much for the high hopes of Darrell Waltrip, who came in with a lot of confidence. He qualified well and really hoped that today would be a good finish, but unfortunately his car is still back there on the backstretch as Jeff Burton has gotten going again and catches up with the tail of the field, does not lose a lap, but Darrell Waltrip has. Let's see if we can find out what happened.
You ever see the 2 cars side by side, the 1 and the 99. Made contact coming off the corner, and Darrell goes down, and you're right, Bob, that contact he made with the inside wall will probably, he'll have to spend some time working on that, and the car is still sitting there, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he drove about 5 feet, and then the car stopped again, and so now the track safety crew has come out. Well, a crash here in the opening laps has reduced the speed, while Bobby Hamilton, Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, and Ricky Rudd are the top 4. Back in a moment. Back back at Martinsville, where the caution flag waves as the field completes lap number 8. An 11-time winner here at Martinsville, Darrell Waltrip, was victim of the caution on lap number 4. We ride along with Kenny Wallace. The crash occurs just ahead of him.
See Darrell in the yellow car down on the inside. Makes a little bit of contact right there with Jeff Burton. And that's all it took as we watch it again coming off turn 2. It just shot him right straight into the wall. Burton's car was held up from hitting the wall by Darrell's car.
Here it is from another angle. Waltrip's car suffering much more damage than Burton, although Jeff's left front was damaged in the incident. And finally, from high overhead,
so it reminds me of when Ricky Rudd and Kenny Schrader spun off that corner a few years ago.
So the Pennzoil copter cam overhead gave us the shot of the Pennzoil car being extensively damaged in that crash. Here's Bill Weber.
Jeff Burton has been on pit road twice. He does have damage to the front left end of his car. They pulled the sheet metal away from the left front tire. They put a giant bandage composed of tape over the left front of the car. He's going to come back down pit road again. They're going to change tires and send him back out. And Benny, as you had speculated during the break when we were away, he's going to have trouble with his brakes because they're not going to get the air back in there to cool them under this configuration. He's coming down pit road now. Burton's third visit. Meanwhile, the other victim in this early crash, Darrell Waltrip, he's with Ray Dunlap.
Well, I'm right beside the Pennzoil Chevrolet, Bill, and it looks like the left front tire has a lot of damage. The steering gear is detached there. I'm going to try to jump in here and get a word with DW. He's climbing out of the race car right now, and over the years, we've called him Mr. Martinsville because he has been so great at this racetrack. And, Darrell, we see a good bit of damage there to the race car. What happened?
I think the 99 car, we were coming off of turn 2 here, and he poked me in the right rear and turned me head on into the inside fence. A little early to be doing that kind of thing, but you know, I was just down on the inside trying to get going here and get lined up and get single file and do a little racing. I have a great race car, been good all weekend. These guys, I feel so bad for them. They can't get a break. Every week it's a torn up race car, and I don't know what to tell them. I hate it.
And guys, this was going to be his week because he knows how great he can be at this track.
Hope he can get back out because he has been running at the end of the last 21 straight races here at Martinsville, and he leads in 5 categories among the active drivers in starts, poles, wins, top 5s, and top 10s at Martinsville. But the crew has the work to do now as they try to get Darrell back in.
Go now, pace car's off. He's off. Get ready. Go, go, go.
Substituting for Greg Sachs. And here comes Kyle Petty up to try to get his nose under Rich.
Jeremy Mayfield going to the 12th spot.
Meanwhile, Jeff Gordon, as you can see from the bumper cam on Rusty Wallace, is all over Wallace, running second.
Jeff goes in the corner and closes right on the back bumper of Rusty Wallace. Aggressive in trying to get by this Miller Lite Ford.
You see how that car bounces around when it gets in the turn. When he gets on that cement, it's a little bit rough, and it makes the car bounce around a little bit.
Oh, we got Jimmy Spencer spinning down in one. It's one of the big of the cars. Sterling Marlin. Come out to the side of him.
Boy, talk about your chain reaction. 5 cars.
10-21 now. 10-21.
When Jimmy Spencer spun, Sterling Marlin can't get going.
And Morgan Shepherd's car is stalled and will not start, and he gets lapped.
Morgan Shepherd is substituting for Mike Skinner this weekend.
I believe that Morgan stopped. I don't think there's any damage to his car.
But the engine just died, and he couldn't get it started. You see the flame coming out of Sterling Marlin's car. I guess that's raw fuel coming out there, and he just can't get the engine fired on it.
Here's a replay.
There we see Spencer going around. We see all those cars. Dale Jarrett takes evasive action, goes to the outside, and Ward Burton. And there we see Sterling Marlin right inside, and Morgan Shepherd stopped. He didn't hit anybody.
Nope, he didn't.
But his car will not start. That car's still sitting down there.
Well, there's some rescue workers or track workers trying to push him off now.
In front of you, higher. Higher, go higher. 921. There you go. Come on, baby. Come on.
Hutch Strickland just missed too, didn't he?
I tell you what, we got to give a big attaboy to Bart Creasy. He's the spotter for Hutch Strickland.
He told Hut where to go, and it worked for him. He avoided it. Can't say the same for Jimmy Spencer, whose car continues to be sideways down in the grass and turn.
Come down on somebody going into one over here.
And there's where the
They
spotters
just
are located.
send him for a little ride.
The eyes of the race driver not ahead of him. Here's Bill.
Well, Sterling Marlin's going to have a long day. They're going to push him behind the wall. The front of the car is buckled in, smoke billowing from the radiator. So the Coors Light Chevy goes behind the wall. Sterling Marlin's bad luck at this racetrack continues. He's another early victory.
So, a couple of cars behind the wall already here in the first 18 laps of this 500-lap competition. Sterling goes back behind the wall rather quickly, and the crew will go to work quickly.
And I thought he was stopped. I thought he was stopped, but I think someone got in the back of it and kind of pushed him, and right in the side of Spencer's car he goes, and most of that damage that you see is nothing but sheet metal.
Yep. Rick Mast and Steve Grissom were also involved in the incident. Tight quarters here at Martinsville. Things happen very, very quickly, and sometimes there's very little room for you to miss it. Back with more from the Goody's Headache Counter 500 in a moment. Yesterday, low ceiling and rain. Today, bright sunshine and clear skies that the Pennzoil copter cam can fly in, showing us these overhead shots of Martinsville Speedway. Still under caution because of an incident down in turn number 2.
You know, you say, well, you might be saying to yourself, well, why are these guys trying to pass each other so early in the race? Here's the leader. That's the leader of the race. Back here is the last place car. You see that the leader is almost 3/4 of a lap in front of the last place car. Now, if you have a pretty good car and you're back there, you want to try to get in front of that guy because the leader is going to start lapping cars in about 25, 30 laps. So you've got to go as early as you can.
Bill Weber's with Sterling Marlin.
Sterling out of the car. They work on the Coors Light Chevy. What happened, Sterling?
Jimmy Spencer, he got a little bit loose and ball forward. We shot by him, and, you know, we're just trying to be patient and slow and race. And I was all the way up his door, and I don't guess he saw me. And he hooked a hard left, and they didn't know where to go. We got me up on the curb and spun him around, and we was about to stop, and this was about to hit us. But, you know, it's Martinsville. It's hard racing, and you just got to know when somebody's beside you and not chop them off.
But get ready. Be patient. Be patient. Get ready. Go, go, go. Hands to the right.
Lost 4 laps. Morgan Shepherd lost 1. You see him there to the inside of John Andretti. Just emphasizing what Benny was talking about, this is the largest field in history here at Martinsville. It used to start 36 on a short track. Last year was 42. 43 starters in this year's event.
Does make you proud. You see that Morgan Shepherd about to pass Jeff Gordon back as Rusty works on Bobby Hamilton up front.
it up a little bit. Thought he was going to open the door for Wallace. Didn't take advantage of it. Hamilton's never won here at Martinsville, but listen to his last 6 finishes. 8th, 4th, 6th, 3rd, 2nd, and 3rd. John Andretti has gone into 4th position. Ricky Rudd occupied that before we went caution.
He's full alongside Jeff Gordon, but unfortunately, there's no place he can go because something's got to happen between the 31 and the 24. Now, something may happen here because the 31 has been able to pull in front of 24. Now, Andretti can get that spot and does.
Started 8th, up to 3rd. He said in qualifying that he had a better car than his 8th position. John Andretti we're talking about. McKean's car, number 43.
And Rusty once again moved down on the inside. He took a look on the outside going in turn 1.
97 car of Chad Little's got some smoke coming from it. See it?
Yeah, sure has. I don't know where that's coming from, Bob, but I'm sure it's a situation that's not going to get better.
Comes Morgan Shepherd, that 31 car, the Lowe's car.
Look what happened to Johnny Benson a lap ago.
Ooh, he gets up, hits the wall, hits it pretty good.
Wow.
He's running back to 29th position and Chad Little 30th. Here's Mark Martin, Brett Bodine, and Ernie Irvin.
16th, 17th, 18th.
There you see the top 5 speeds, and Andretti was the fastest on lap number 30 and on 31. Jack Roush, of course, with 5 cars in this race, and already 3 of them have experienced problems or what appear to be problems with Chad Little's car smoking.
Jack Roush's birthday was yesterday, but it's not been a happy birthday so far.
Uh-oh!
Ernie gets a little bit loose going in the corner, goes up the hill, moves the 11 car up. Mark Martin trying to get alongside. Rich Bickle does.
They banged a couple of times, but Mark Martin able to pick up the position. He's 15th.
Now Bickle's going to try it back on the inside.
Bobby Labonte, I don't know if he has a problem. He's letting cars pass him on the outside. The green number 18, the Interstate Batteries Pontiac. He's not resisting. In fact, he's giving them plenty of room to race out there. They're going by on the outside.
There's the details on the Roush driver so far. Martin 15th. Jeff Burton crashed, now running 33rd. Musgrave 10th. Little smoking 30th. Johnny Benson banged the wall a while ago and is 29th.
Notice Benson's car is smoking in the turns. He could have a tire rubbing.
Dale Earnhardt has come up to 23rd spot.
Started back to 31st, I believe. Chad Little's car is certainly not, the smoke is not getting any better.
Looking out the back of the Circuit City car, there was some contact there between Hutt and Dale.
On that 77. Outside.
Earnhardt's going to try.
Back order there. Clear.
Earnhardt's up to 23rd.
Go. They know you're back there.
Position.
Yep.
Never see Hut Strickham, the Circuit City car, following Robert Preston. Now Earnhardt's got to run on the inside. Oh,
baby, come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Clear.
Well, Hutt's doing a great job of holding off the challenge, isn't he?
So, yeah, make it fast to the outside.
There you go. Don't give up that inside.
is, outside quarter.
Nope.
Ain't no it, baby. Ain't got nothing for you. You're the man.
He's going high again. Nemechek and Ted Musgrave are battling for position for 9th spot.
Musgrave trying to pull it up on the outside. He's coming close. If I could just turn left, that'd be okay. You know, right now, the battle from Kenny Schrader in 7th spot back to Jerry Nadeau in the 13th car. He's running 39th. They're basically all nose to tail.
And a few side-by-side situations, as we see this right here.
New information this year in our First Plus Financial Field Summary. We're showing you the points as they stand right now. Points, of course, so important even this early in the season. And it will demonstrate how you can lose or gain points just by losing or gaining a couple of positions.
Kenny Wallace's Squared E car started in 17th spot, now currently running in 11th. There's Schrader I was talking about a moment ago, and from him all the way back to Nadeau, actually to Dick Circle with nose to tail. Here's Jerry Nadeau that I was talking about as he follows the Jeff Green gum-out car.
Take a look at the rookie point standings. Jerry Nadeau is 3rd in the points and running in 38th position. Kevin LePage was the fastest qualifier among the rookies. Ernie Irvin, Kyle Petty, and Lake Speed all running right together, and Mark Martin is watching. That's back in 13th, 14th, 15th, and Mark Martin running in 16th spot. The lead held by Bobby Hamilton. He has a 3/4 of a second lead on Rusty Wallace. John Andretti, Jeff Gordon, and Rudd are the top 5 with 47 of 500 laps complete. Hamilton in the Kodak film Chevy leads the Goody's Headache Powder 500. Now he has more than a 1 1/4 second lead over Rusty Wallace. But Hamilton's coming up from some lap traffic.
Yes, he is. Ward Burton is back there in the 39th position, the last car on the lead lap. So he's moving in on that.
Bill Elliott being pursued hotly by the 16 car, Ted Musgrave. That will be for the 8th spot, 8th to 9th.
Musgrave started 12th, so he's moving up a little bit. But right behind him is that 36 car of Ernie Irvin. Now, Ernie has come all the way up to 10th place. He started 22nd, so he is on the move.
Let us see the skills Pontiac.
Just ahead of Bill Elliott, running in 7th position, is Kenny Schrader, and Bill Weber has a report on him.
Well, Schrader started 6th. That's his best qualifying spot of the season. But in happy hour on Saturday, his car was terrible. And Andy Petrie told me why. Because after the Saturday morning practice session, they measured the track bar. But because there's so little room here in Martinsville, they lost the spot where they could prepare their car. And during happy hour, basically had to stage or pit the car in another spot. They sway bars, springs, spring rubbers in the car, and couldn't get it any better. They even measured the track bar, but the measurement was off because the location was different. After happy hour, they were able to go back to the original spot, remeasure the track bar, find out it was not where it was supposed to be, reset it where it was, and now they're very happy with how the car was, and Schrader's happy with how it is. Now up front, the leader in traffic.
Yeah, matter of fact, this is where trying to maintain the lead and patience kind of clash as Bobby Hamilton tries to get through all this slower traffic.
Well, he hasn't had to abuse his brakes too much up to this point. But now that he's in that traffic, he will have to use those brakes a lot more. He has to be patient, as you say, but he's also got to be aggressive. You see the back end broke loose a little bit coming off the corner. Dick Trickle is the next car that he's trying to put a lap on, put a little bit of a bump to him right there. No harm, just let him know he's there.
You see Jerry Nadeau, Dick Trickle right behind him. Now Bobby Hamilton trying to go by on the outside. Still trying to struggle in that fourth car. Bobby Hamilton's going by on the outside. Ned talked about it at the very top of the show about the brakes. You see Hut Strickland going down the straightaway. You see the tire how straight it is. Now he hits the brakes. He goes in the corner. This is a Tabasco hot zone. And the rotor did not turn that red that time. Of course, we can't.
Got to spin over on turn 2.
Chad Little does a 360 and keeps going.
And there's no caution yet.
Chad Little, we saw smoke coming from his car a while ago. Now he spins, and he's got smoke again.
And it's back smoking again.
And he has gone a lap down.
So has Terry Labonte gone a lap down. Meanwhile, second, third, and fourth, that is Wallace, Andretti, and Gordon running right together. Jerry has more on John Andretti, who's running third and looking good. In fact, he's coming up on Rusty's bumper.
Exactly, Bob. They were been very pleased. I think Ned mentioned that the low point of the weekend for the STP team was qualifying. They qualified 8th, which would be impressive for a lot of teams, but they have gotten better ever since. Robbie Loomis told me a moment ago that John is not even pushing the car really hard, and they were very encouraged that John was able to get by Jeff Gordon without having to use the brakes, and he's running right on Rusty's bumper without having to use much brakes or push the race car. They think they've got a great car for the rest of the afternoon.
Well, he's moved into second spot right now, and Jeff Gordon's going by Rusty. He's trying to take over that third spot, and he will take it over. So Rusty back to fourth.
John Andretti's best finish here came in the fall race in '96. He finished 5th. Has a real good run going here in the early going. Recent short track races, Jeff Gordon has been the man to beat. He's finished first or second in 10 of the last 15. He is, however, lapping his teammate, Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte has been struggling this weekend, and that's just uncharacteristic of Terry and that team.
It really is on this racetrack in particular, because he drives it so well, but they just apparently never got the handle on it.
71 laps are complete now as we ride along.
Oh, and David Green in the wall in turn 1 hard.
David was running in 6th place.
Tears the back bumper off.
That's not all that's tore off. He got in the wall awfully hard.
Caution is coming out on lap 72.
Bob, this is a break for a lot of cars that were about to go a lap down. Bobby Hamilton was up beside of Jerry Nadeau, but Nadeau will stay in the lead lap, I believe. I'm not sure now. They're slowing down. Maybe he did get by him, but we'll check that out.
Third caution of the day.
And I tell you what, David Green had a great run going in that cat car.
Yep.
Was running about 5th or 6th.
Yeah, it's running in 6th place when that happened. Qualified 5th.
The pits are not open yet. The pace car has not picked up the leader, Bobby Hamilton. It will down in turn 1.
And we see Jerry Nadeau now. Apparently Hamilton did beat him back to the line, so he did go a lap down. So that leaves 34 cars on the lead lap.
Well, would think 73 laps completed. I would think when the pit road opens, we'll see wholesale pit stops.
And we see Dick Trickle there waiting on the backstretch too. He apparently also got beat back to the line. So then that'll leave 33 cars on the lead lap. Yeah, you're probably right, Vinny. When they open, they'll come in, even though they can still go close to another 100 laps as far as fuel is concerned. So I don't know. Be interesting to see.
Well, here comes Hamilton.
Yep. And Andretti, all those on the lead lap. Jerry?
35 miles an hour. I don't expect to see a single change at all in the Kodak Chevrolet team as Bobby Hamilton brings that Chevrolet in. 4, 24, and 2. 2 Chevrolets and a Ford. We're going to show you triple pits. Rusty Wallace on the bottom of your screen. He had complained of the car being very, very loose. That's why he had lost 2 spots in the last 5 laps. Right side tires on the Kodak Chevy. Now, the Penske crew to the left side of their machine. Likewise, the Rainbow Warriors, 1 pump, 2 pump, left side tires on the DuPont Chevrolet. Rusty's crew got the lug nuts on. He is trying to get out. Here comes Kenny Wallace. Here is Hamilton. They will scamper side by side. Like the one. Let's go to Ray Dunlop in the Earnhardt pit.
Well, Doc, the Goodwrench Chevrolet is in. They're going to go with a routine pit stop here. 4 tires and gas. They're going to add 2 pounds of air to the right front. And further down pit road, Dale Jarrett also has come in, and they're going to give it a round of bite. Now let's go to Bill Weber.
Routine stop for Ken Schrader. He got 4 tires. Jeremy Mayfield was also here. Got a major chassis adjustment. Joe Nemechek lost several positions because it took him a long time to get the left rear tire bolted onto the car.
We assume that Kenny Wallace took 2 tires because he is the leader, and this is the first time that he has ever led a lap here at Martinsville. We'll be back as we are under caution at the Goody's Headache Powder 500 with Wallace, Kenny Wallace, now leading. In the midst of our 3rd caution period of the day, from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, Kenny Wallace currently has the lead. Let's take a look at the pit stops. We assume that he just took 2 tires.
Well, let's check him out. We see him back there. I've circled about 10 cars. But he's the 3rd car from the end, just entering pit road. We see the yellow hood. He dives to the left now. Crew goes around to the right. Other cars still stopping. See Bobby Labonte coming down pit road. And about right now, they should be... There he comes. So it would have to be just right.
Yeah.
Down to Bill Weber.
And that was Kenny Wallace's plan from before the race to take 2 right side tires on their first stop. I'm with David Green. You're behind the wall. David, what happened out there?
Everything was fine, Bill. And just told Sammy I'm sitting there saving my brakes, and everything was fine. Car was working good. Went down in that corner, and the brake pedal went to the floor. So I just looked at it there as I was leaving. It looked like either something broke in the right front caliper or some fluid leaking out. But whole car was pretty good. Having a little bit of fun, but man, those walls come quick when they ain't got no brakes. I tried to spin it out, keep them going straight into the wall, maybe just spin around, but wasn't to be.
Got to be frightening.
Yeah, but only lasts for a second and it's over with, but I'm fine. And again, the guys at the shop did a great job this week, had another great car. We'll just continue to go on, but if we ever have some luck, we'll might be in that far victory lane.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
The guys in the shop have a little more work ahead of them now. The cat car behind the wall. Disappointing day for David Green, who was optimistic, had the great qualifying run, and was doing great until he ran out of brakes.
Well, the car went into the wall hard on lap number 71 from Bill Elliott's on board. Watch up ahead, way ahead. There is single car crash. Just got loose, went way up into the fence. No brakes and a hard impact with the wall, but David is okay. We'll be back with the green flag in a moment. Less than a lap and a half completed under green as Kenny Wallace was the leader, but now Bobby Hamilton on the outside takes back over the first place, and Rusty Wallace trying to take second from younger brother. Let's get an update on the Rusty Wallace situation from the doctor.
Well, Rusty was loose coming into that pit stop. That's why he had lost a couple of positions. They made an air pressure adjustment in both the right front and right rear. Robert Pemberton hoping to tighten that car up. He was one of the guys that made a change. Likewise, Bill Elliott had a problem. His car was too tight. Mike Beam in the McDonald's group raised the track bar to try to free the car up. And remember, we saw the 18 car going back early in the race. Their car was loose in, tight in the middle, and loose off. A major problem they were having. Jimmy May car made a major change by adjusting the track bar and putting wedge in the car to try to get the car to Bobby Labonte's liking. Let's check in with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Doc, there was a lot of changes on Dale Jarrett's number 88 car, but it wasn't during that pit stop. It was last night after happy hour. They changed 17 different items on the car, including moving lead around to try to make the car go through the center of the corners a little bit differently. They're pretty happy with it, though. Now, remember, DJ started 23rd, and he's all the way up to 14th.
He actually gained 3 spots on that pit stop. He was running 17th, hitting on the back, and came out 14th.
No one has won from the backstretch pit since 1959 when Lee Petty did so. This is the battle for 3rd position between Jeff Gordon and Kenny Wallace.
And give it to Jeff Gordon. So it looks like that we won't see too many 2-tire stops today, Ned, because the left sides look like they really are important.
Yeah, I think they are. And Kenny found that out. Gave him great track position, but he's having to fight it now.
Todd Bodine and Michael Waltrip are running side by side. Up ahead is Hut Strickland.
That's 26 and 27. And Steve Grissom, the Kodiak car. Kenny Irwin, Texaco car follows. Is on the back bumper of the Tabasco Pontiac.
Michael Waltrip, of course, with the Wood Brothers Ford. Wood Brothers headquartered not too far from Martinsville. Meanwhile, it's a Rusty and Bobby Hamilton battle.
Yeah, and Rusty is all over Bobby Hamilton. Boy, he is working. Now he gets a nose up under him going into turn 3. Can he make it work? He's been trying him high. He's been trying him low. He's tried everything in the world, but so far, none of it has worked.
So far, Bobby has led 82 laps. We've had 3 cautions for a total of 22 circuits. And the only other leader besides Bobby Hamilton has been Kenny Wallace. 3 caution flags have brought the average down to 62.7 miles an hour. Place on the track right now are these brakes on Hut Strickland's car and probably many others. And watch also the Tabasco hot zone information showing you RPM, miles an hour, and when he has to hit those brakes and make the brake rotors blow.
You see the red light that says brake. He touches the brake, and when he's on them hard, see how that rotor just immediately turns cherry red. I just can't get over how much the sidewall flexes on these cars. Watch it go down. Here's the rotor we're talking about that turns cherry red. And I just look how the bottom of this tire flexes as they go down in the turn. Then we get to the straightaway, it'll straighten right up.
And then to look over there at those RPMs on the straightaways, he's hitting over 9,000 RPMs. And it'll go down to about 5,800 or so in the turn. So there's a dramatic difference in the speed on the turns in the straightaway here at Martinsville, more than any other track they run on.
And there's a 40-mile-an-hour difference between top speed at the end of the straightaway and the speed in the middle of the corner. Boy, look at those sidewalls.
Whoa! Ouch. All right, come on. They know you back there.
Yeah, they know you're back there. He knows it now.
You got to do it again.
Little bitty buddy know you want to race.
All right. See how close to get down to that yellow curving. That's the groove.
Now we'll look at Todd Bodine's telemetry.
Over 9,000 on the straightaway.
We'll look down to 60, about 60 miles an hour in the middle of the corner before accelerating and moving up to...
Work on, baby. What's to go? Leaders are coming.
See, that's the problem that you've got. Is the leader gets that clean racetrack and they just take off and you get hung up back here and you may have a good race car, but you just can't pass cars.
Leaders start finish line.
There is a lot of traffic ahead of Todd Bodine, and Rusty Wallace and Bobby Hamilton are catching up to this long line of traffic. And here's the long line of traffic. And look, less than a straightaway back are the two up front.
And as Benny said, they're out there in clean racetrack. Nobody to race with, and so they can turn better laps than those that are up there running in traffic.
Thing that saves Todd Bodine, Hutch Trickle, and the rest of those guys, that will not be the first cars caught by Bobby Hamilton. That will be Johnny Benson, Robert Presley, and cars like that. Now, they hopefully will slow the leaders down enough that they can continue to stay in front of them.
There's Jeff Gordon running in third position. The 40 car of Sterling Marlin is not on the lead lap. He has many laps down, 67 as a matter of fact. There is the fourth place car of John Andretti. Now a new leader, Rusty Wallace. Here's Jerry.
Well, that's what's called cooperation in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. The two said, I want to lead at least one lap to get my 5 bonus points. And in exchange, I won't sit back here and beat on your rear bumper. We'll race like gentlemen. So they let the two come by and lead a lap. Now, if the agreement holds true, the 4 should go back by the 2 here momentarily.
There it is. Sure enough.
Rusty does have 5 points, and you do that because you might be on the other end of the situation next time.
Yeah, that favor could definitely pay dividends, and maybe has in the past, something we don't know about, but I would say that in the future it also could still pay dividends.
Now we have Musgrave and Schrader and Ernie Irvin as they run 5th, 6th, and 7th. Yeah. Musgrave having a good run.
Yep.
Having a great run.
Took over the 5th place now. Ernie Irving trying to take over 6th. See Mark Martin coming up there now.
Ted Musgrave in the Prime Star Taurus has been practicing awfully hard all weekend. Every time I've seen him on the racetrack, he's really been practicing hard. Like he says, look, this is my shot. I want to try to win this thing today.
This from the Pennzoil copter cams circling overhead Martinsville Speedway today. After yesterday's rain out, we have some beautiful, albeit cool weather to endure here this afternoon.
Mark Martin taking over from Ken Schrader. That'll be the 7th position.
Bobby Hamilton continues to lead Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon, John Andretti, and Ted Musgrave. More than 100 laps have been completed of the 500 that will make up the Goody's Headache Powder 500. ESPN Speed World is live today at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia as we continue to celebrate NASCAR's 50th anniversary. You can become involved in it by jumping on your computer and catching the website, www.nascar.com. There you can vote for the driver you think will carry the torch of NASCAR into the new millennium. That will be one of 7 awards announced on NASCAR's Night in Hollywood, a golden celebration. Catch that on Saturday, May the 2nd at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. The host of the program will be Don Johnson, and scheduled to appear such performers as Dwayne Eddy, Mike Love of the Beach Boys, Dean Torrance of Jan and Dean, Sister Sledge, George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Saturday, May 2nd, a big night in Los Angeles, and on your TV screen, NASCAR's Night in Hollywood. Well, the green flag remains out here as Bobby Hamilton threads his way through the traffic. He has just put a lap on the 28 car of Kenny Urban, who's running in 28th spot.
Yeah, Burton's spun over there a little bit ago, but there was no caution. And look what happened to his brother when he's trying to avoid the spin. Now here we are, coming off. He's coming off the pit road. He and Kyle Petty both went down pit road on the backstretch, and as Ward Burton came around, he spun out on the grass. Still no caution. He wasn't out on the racetrack. He didn't bother a thing.
Looks like there might have been contact between Jeff and Ward is what caused the spin. As we see the 4-car, Bobby Hamilton still continuing on his way, trying to get a lap on Jeff Bodine.
Bodine, a 4-time winner here at Martinsville, most recently in 1992. Jeff Burton trying to get that lap back.
He lost the lap when he spun. Bobby Hamilton was right there and went around it. And he's been running as fast as Bobby has, but hasn't been able to get back around. Well, Jeff Burton has been hit. He spun out early, got some damage done when he and Darrell Waltrip tangled up. Then he hit the wall later on, and he's had that car in a lot of different positions here today and banged it up, but he's still running good.
And you saw just a moment ago the 24 car of Jeff Gordon has moved into second spot.
There's Jeff, and there's Rusty and John Andretti, who are battling for position. That 26 car of Johnny Benson has already been in the wall a couple of times in this race already.
Dick Trickle is heading to the pits in the Howlick Myers Ford number 90 on the backstretch. He's slow coming off of turn 4 and headed to the pits.
Darrell Waltrip is also back in the race. His crash occurred on lap number 4, so he is 116 laps down right now, but still out there in competition. And look at the traffic that Hamilton now faces, and Jeff Burton got his lap back.
Yeah, got back in front of the leader. If he can get a caution now, he'd be right back in the thick of this thing.
Michael Waltrip, Steve Grissom, all these cars desperately want to stay in front of that 4. The leader, because the caution flag's only a spin away.
And Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, is really closing in on Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton really held up by these lap cars, and that's normally the case here at Martinsville. He just has nowhere to go, and Gordon is able to pick his way up through there and wants to lead 5 laps too and get him 5 bonus points.
Jeff totally dominated this race last year in victory. Jeff Gordon has closed up the interval from 1.3 seconds on lap 121 to less than a half second now on lap 125.
And you see that Bobby Hamilton can still run fast. I mean, he ran a 21 flat. He ran a 21-1. But check these 21.5, 21.3s. That's in the traffic.
Hamilton is now going to go high, it looks like.
Kyle Petty down on the inside.
And Kyle was one of those that went down pit road when Jeff Burton spun. And he did not lose a lap. He's about to now, but at least he kept it on the lead lap.
Now here's Gordon trying to get to the inside of Bobby Hamilton. Can't do it, though.
Bobby Hamilton said I should let him go by and let him worry about using his brakes to try to get through this traffic.
There's Rusty Wallace and John Andretti running back in 3rd and 4th, with Steve Grissom separating them from the top 2.
Jeff wants that lead. He wants those 5 bonus points you were talking about just a moment ago, Ned.
He is 98 points behind the points leader, Rusty Wallace, going into this event.
You see that Bobby Hamilton is caught up in that slow traffic, which is allowing Rusty Wallace, John Andretti, actually all the other cars closing in, making up some time as Hamilton is slowed by the slower cars.
Jerry Punch has a report on Bobby Hamilton.
People may wonder why Bobby Hamilton doesn't use his front bumper a little bit to be able to warn some traffic. He's back there, and the reason is the crew not only reminds him about the brakes, they remind him about the brake ducts, because if you lose the brake ducts, you're going to lose the brakes. Those are very critical here at Martinsville.
Take a look at the cars who have made some significant advances in the last few laps. LaJoy from 36th starting position to 18th. And Dale Earnhardt, who started 31st, is up to 14th position. And Dale Jarrett has also made some great advances. We'll check on Dale Earnhardt when we return with more live action of the rain-postponed Goody's Headache Powder 500.
Pit stops under caution here at Martinsville in the Goody's 500. Ernie Irvin is in getting right side tires. Mark Martin also getting right side tires. Brett Bodine slides in front of the 6th. These should be 4 tire stops and fuel here. It's with a lot of traffic and very congested on pit road. Down pit road is Jerry Punch.
An air pressure change and a Panhard adjustment on Bobby Hamilton's Kodak Chevrolet. They made a roundabout, and Rusty's on. Here's a 24 down. He will be the 3rd car down pit road. We're talking about Rusty Walls, and it's 4, 24, 2, and 43 to go in the Ray Dunlap.
Well, Doc, on the backstretch, Dale Jarrett has the Ford Credit Quality Care number 88 in. They're going to go to the right side. This will be a 4-tire stop. 1 round of wedge in the right rear. They're to the left side right now. We'll see if DJ is able to continue to make up positions here. He has the first pit on the backstretch, and they're down in the wedge.
Just barely beating Dale Earnhardt and Lake Speed off the backstretch pit. We are under caution, as you probably know. We are under caution because on lap 100, we'll show you that Terry Labonte's spun coming off turn 2.
Well, he's going to get a little bit of tap there from Jeff Green driving the car number 30. Terry tried to save it. It's right in front of the leaders, but he spins it down on the inside. Didn't hit anything, but the caution came out.
There we see Terry Labonte as he spins down through the back. It looks like he's going to run in the backstretch, but about right there, all of a sudden the car swaps in again, and Labonte did a great job to keep that Kellogg's car off the inside wall.
From the Pennzoil Copter Cam, there's the contact, and there's the spin by Terry Labonte right in front of his teammate Jeff Gordon, who was at that time running in 2nd position. Speed World coverage continues in a moment from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil. For what you drive and the way you drive it, the choice is clear.
There's a lot going on in front of a NASCAR Winston Cup driver, on the track and on the dash. Today we want to show you some of the gauges the driver has to keep his eyes on. They're all fairly simple. First of all, there's the tach. It records RPMs. The oil pressure should read about 80 pounds. Oil temp, between 240 and 260. The water temperature, between 180 and 200. The voltmeter should read about 14. If it starts to fall below that, it could mean you have trouble with the alternator, and that could lead to ignition problems. The fuel pressure gauge normally reads between 7 and 9 pounds. It'll fall a little bit as you run low on fuel because you're starting to pull some air through the fuel line. If it gets below 5, you're probably in big trouble. Now, one more thing. In most NASCAR Winston Cup cars, these gauges will all be rotated. That's so that when the needle is giving the proper indication, it's pointing directly straight up at 12 o'clock. That's so when a driver's going down the straightaway, all he has to do is quickly glance at the gauges. If all the needles are pointing at 12 o'clock, he knows everything's okay.
And we ride along now with Todd Bodine.
There's more gauges. You know, I got a letter this week from a fan that asked me what those gauges were on the day.
Really?
Yes, and that's what I found.
Car's off, pass right. Go, go, go. Green, green.
could not get his lap back. He's back in 24th position. There are 23 cars on the lead lap.
And Jeff Gordon, as we can see, is having all kinds of problems being able to pass Steve Grissom on the outside. Hamilton's car seems to be working better on the outside than any other car here. I think that Gordon and Rusty Wallace could probably run as well as anyone on the inside, but Hamilton, he can run inside or outside.
Talking about close quarters, this is it.
That 41 car is 25th spot, one lap down, and finally Jeff Gordon, well, I thought he was in front of him. Ernie Irvin, we saw the note. There's Ernie Irvin, the Skittles car, and we're in that 5th spot.
5th place. Yes, sir.
And Ted Musgrave is running in 6th position right behind Ernie, and those two drivers need good finishes here this weekend.
They need something to juice that crew up, to make those guys excited to go across that wall, change those tires, excited to go to Talladega.
Bill Elliott has a bit of traffic ahead of him, including Jeff Bodine over there on the left and Dale Jarrett right ahead.
Yeah, that's a battle for 11th and 12th. Jarrett's in 11th, Elliott in 12th.
Now, Jarrett had moved up to 7th right before that caution came out, but he lost 4 positions that time on that pit stop, pitting on the back.
Bill started 7th, currently running in 12th position. Came into this race 6th in the point standings. See his last lap there, 89.1. Best speed that past lap was 91.9 by John Andretti, running 4th.
Oh, and there we see some contact between the 97 and the 7. And the caution, yes, the caution is out.
And Dale Earnhardt missed, but I don't know how.
So all of those cars, those lap cars that they were fighting to pass, they're going to have to do it again.
Yep.
And Kyle Petty tried his best to get a lap back from Bobby Hamilton. We were watching that just a moment ago. As we see all these cars there, we see Jeff Bodine, and here comes the 97 car, makes contact with Bodine, and look at Earnhardt. Oh, almost running the back of the 97, but did not do it. And Jeff Bodine puts in first gear and drives away.
Here's the Pennzoil copter cam shot.
There you see that contact just a little bit. Didn't take much. And boy, what a traffic jam it created when everybody jammed on the brakes and tried to get going again.
So another caution waves at the 154 lap mark. It's still Bobby Hamilton in command. ESPN Speed World live today on this Monday at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. The Goodies 500 being brought to you by Valvoline DuraBlend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. By First Plus Financial. At First Plus, we're working first for you. And by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Under caution here at Martinsville because of a spin involving Jeff Bodine down in turn number 4. On lap number 153, on board with Todd Bodine, and up ahead,
he sees his brother.
Jerry Nadeau's perspective. To drive over the curb, and here from another angle.
And boy, they all started trying to stop. Nadeau could not stop, but fortunately there was air there in front of him. He hit the hole and continued on.
Bobby Labonte pitted twice during this caution. Doc?
Well, they were going to put a rubber in the right rear to try to free the car up. They were trying to make adjustments. The car was so bad when the race began. It was loose going in and tight in the middle of the corner and loose coming off. He got on the pit road, had the right side jacked up, but The pace car was coming across, and he tried to beat the pace car out. Didn't beat the stop sign man. Had to come back down pit road. He is now, because of that pit stop, 1 lap down, 23rd spot. That pit stop cost him a lap. Unfortunately, it's awfully tough to make up here at Martinsville. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Well, early in the race under caution, Kenny Wallace took only right side tires. That dropped him back in the field. He came out leading, but gradually fell back in the field. Under this caution, he came and got a track bar adjustment. So basically, Kenny's gone from first to about the last car on the lead lap. To the backstretch and Ray.
Well, Bill, quite a few drivers out of their cars back here, including Dick Trickle and the Heilig Myers Ford. They have a transmission problem, and Kevin LePage just brought the number 91 car in. They've got two cylinders, that are missing back here, and I think they may be done for the day. Green flag's coming back out.
Bobby Hamilton gets down into turn 1 first in front of the lap car of Kyle Petty. I believe Jeff Gordon's going to be in a little better shape this time than he was before. He had a hard time, as Benny mentioned, getting around the 41 car of Steve Grissom, and it's behind him now.
Hamilton has led 151 of the 161 laps we have run. The battle for second between Rusty and Jeff.
And Rusty took a look on the outside. He's still looking on the outside. He won't give it up. John Andretti, the 43 car, is trying to figure out who's going to follow him.
Musgrave are also hanging right in there. You know, these 2 weekends are so interesting because this weekend we're here at the shortest and the slowest track on the circuit, and next week we go to the longest and the fastest. And we haven't heard you much about the Ford Chevy thing this weekend, but I'm sure we will next weekend. And restrictor plates and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference on this racetrack what brand of car it is. It's the driver, the crew, and the combination that they have together. Next week, yeah, aerodynamics will play a big part.
First Plus Financial Field Summary. Notice how positions have changed because the driver has moved up or back a couple of positions on the racetrack.
Jeff Gordon takes over that second spot. John Andretti now, the STP car, trying to take over third spot. So Rusty, that attempted pass is going to cost him a position.
Those of you wondering where the 4 car is, well, he is 1.4 seconds ahead of Jeff Gordon and really has opened up quite an interval.
Yeah, while they were racing side by side back there, he just sat there in clean air, clean track, and just drove away from him. Of course, he's been doing a pretty good job of that today anyway, until he got that traffic a while back.
And we see the rookie points, and there's where the rookies are currently running, and LePage looks to be out of the race. Steve Park obviously didn't start, so Jerry Nadeau might be able to pick up some points on LePage.
Steve Park was here at the racetrack and is continuing his recovery from the injury suffered in the crash at Atlanta.
Ernie Irvin, Musgrave, and Mark Martin closes in on Musgrave.
Has one top 15 finish in the last 6 NASCAR Winston Cup races. Ted Musgrave right behind him, running in 6th position with his teammate Mark Martin.
Mark Martin will be heard from before this race is over. He's hung around up there in the top 10 these first 170 or so laps.
There are the rest of the Roush cars, 3 of them not having good days at all. All 3 back, 20 from behind.
Don't think I would say that too quickly. Jeff Burton is still in the lead lap. And although he made a pit stop the last caution flag, well, some of the other cars did not, so he lost some track position. But he has a very fast race car. And still, we've got a long ways to go.
He's back there in 19th position. There are 22 cars on the lead lap.
Since he has been able to clear that slower traffic, Jeff Gordon has closed in on Bobby Hamilton.
See, Gordon is very, very consistent. Just 0.2 of a second and 3 laps. 2 laps per road at 20.6. And that 20.6, both those laps faster than Hamilton's.
Of course, Hamilton has that clear track up there in front of him, but Gordon is running about 1/10 of a second a lap faster. I wonder how fast John Andretti might run if he got by Gordon.
Exactly, because he said, looks to be John Andretti appears to be pushing Gordon.
Get the speeds at the line here and see who's Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin, second fastest. John Andretti third, because he was right on board. In fact, Rufford didn't go much faster than he did.
Do it again. Looks like Andretti was a little faster than Gordon that lap.
And Ted Musgrave is the third quickest car.
So we're moving well into this race with 176 laps, and Gordon and John Andretti closing in on Bobby Hamilton, who so far has led 167 all but 10 laps of this race. NASCAR Winston Cup racing today on ESPN Speed World. Next Sunday, check out the CART FedEx Championship Series in the Nazareth 200, live from Nazareth, where the defending champion is Paul Tracy. That's next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time. We will be in Talladega. It all begins with Bud Pole qualifying at 4 o'clock Eastern Time Friday. Saturday, the NASCAR Busch Series Touchstone Energy 500K will be on ABC Sports. Happy Hour on the Deuce at 6 o'clock. And the NASCAR Winston Cup race will also be on ABC after NASCAR today at 12:30. The Die Hard 500 on ABC at 1 o'clock. As you can see on the right of your screen, pit stops are happening during this caution period.
Jeff Bodine, and look at 24 car, and Ernie Irvin, and John Andretti.
And the 4 is still sitting there.
And Rusty Wallace is still sitting there. Jerry Butt.
That's because the 4 and the 2 decided to go ahead and put on 4 tires. And remember, they had only pitted 45 laps ago, so now is the time, if you're going to gamble on 2 tires, now's the time to gamble because you only had 45 laps on your left side. Let's check in with Bill Weber.
Ernie Irvin had a great stop. It was a 2-tire stop, right sides only. They've only made 1 adjustment on that car all day. 1 round in the track bar. They did it earlier. Here's Ray.
Well, Del Jarrett came in. They made no changes to the chassis, just 4 tires and gas. He's very happy with that. And another car to keep your eyes on, guy, is Todd Bodine. He's having the run of his life today. He started all the way back in 34th, and he was up to 14th before the caution came out.
We're under caution because of an incident up in turn number 4. We're going to ride along with Jerry Nadeau and see what happened.
We see Randy LaJoy there in the Budweiser car. Jeff Bodine spins. I don't know if there was contact between the 2 or not.
And here they are coming into the pits, and he gets up there and nudges John Andretti a little bit. Get out of my way, John.
Wow. But that's at 35 miles per hour.
Yes, that's right. So we'll take another break while we're under caution. Be back for green flag racing in just a moment. We're back for more coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Well, fire on ice will become an inferno on ice because it's time for the playoffs. As we see for the overhead shot from the Pennzoil copter cam, the first round of the National Hockey League playoffs are set to begin on Wednesday. And it should be a good game. It'll start at 7:30 Eastern Time. The Phoenix Coyotes against the Detroit Red Wings. Nothing like playoff hockey. Down to Bill Weber.
Ken Schrader with a good qualifying effort. Remember, his car was running very well, was a little bit tight. Right now, he had reported before that caution he had a vibration, and here's why. This is his right rear wheel, and you can see that these lug nut holes are no longer round. They should be perfectly round. The lug nuts here were loose. That was the cause of his vibration. He was going to have to pit because he thought it was a tire going down. He caught the caution, got back out. Hopefully his car's okay. Jerry Punch.
The Skittles team purchased their cars and leased their motors from Hendrick Motorsports. The 36 car Ernie Irvin is driving today in a previous life was a DuPont Chevrolet driven by Jeff Gordon. This car has some history. It won the last race at North Wilkesboro Speedway in September 1996. Ernie Irvin drives it today, testing the team they bought it from.
Green flag comes out, and Jeff Gordon is at the front of the field, and these are the first laps that Jeff Gordon has led.
So Rick Hendrick could say, well, my cars are running 1-2 right now because
Except that 36 is no longer his, but it was born and raised there, I guess you would say.
And we see Bobby Hamilton has gone by John Andretti on the outside. He's trying to go by Ernie, but now he got Bobby Hung on the outside. There's a slower car, Robert Presley, and Ernie slips up the hill. Andretti took a look, couldn't quite make it. And here comes the two Penske cars.
Yep.
Well, the 12 is a Penske Qualipus car.
And Michael Waltrip has spun out twice, but hasn't gone all the way around on the last lap. He really got out of shape coming off of turn 2 the last time around. Then on turn 4, he spun sideways again, but kept her going in the right direction. Michael was a lap down in 29th place.
Contact between John Andretti and when he backed off the gas because of the contact, he lost a spot to Bobby Hamilton. He was about to lose another to Rusty Wallace. When he touched the 36 car on the rear bumper, Andretti backed off and Hamilton drove by. And Rusty trying to go by both of them.
On the outside. I've seen as much passing on the outside here today as I've seen in a long, long time here at Martinsville. Now look at this. We're going to have 2 rows of them there side by side.
Bobby Hamilton trying to take over second spot from Ernie Irvin, and does.
John Andretti's on the inside of Rusty Wallace, but Rusty's trying to dive to the inside. Andretti says, I got that spot.
And once again, Jeremy Mayfield emerges as a contender. He has steadily worked his way up and now is in 6th position. He's been hung up in traffic. He has been able to gain positions on traffic, or rather on pit stops, and now finds himself in 6th spot.
And once again, those left side tires seem to be so critical. Ernie Irvin was quick before this last caution, only changed 2 tires, and now these fellows have changed 4. Going by, although Jeff Gordon is still running very well on the 2 tires.
And again, while these drivers have been battling for positions behind him, he has been able to open up a bit of a lead over Bobby Hamilton.
And certainly those 2 tires will work better when you're out front. Don't have to be running side by side with other cars. That's where it really hurts you, is in traffic, just having those 2 tires, 2 new tires.
But as we watch the speed chart on our monitor, Bobby Hamilton is running about a mile per hour faster than Jeff Gordon. He's closing in.
Yeah, he is catching him in a hurry.
Penske cars, 4th and 6th. Mayfield up from 13th starting position.
I think this has got some panel dragging off the right rear. Panel out of the car. We saw Benson hit the wall earlier, and now the crush panel is about to fall off.
Martin, his teammate, one of his teammates, is riding along there behind him, said, please don't fall off and hit my tire like Rusty Wallace had at Bristol. He was riding along behind Ricky Rudd. Of course, a piece of lead fell out of Rudd's car, and he hit it and cut a tire, and into the wall Rusty went.
Wow. And a battle for the lead as Hamilton closes in on Jeff Gordon, and he's going to try it on the outside, and I believe those 4 tires is going to allow him to do it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben. Look at that run. He gets off the corner and he's going deeper into the corner.
Jeff had over a second lead on Bobby Hamilton less than 3 laps ago. And now Hamilton has taken the lead again.
Ray Evernham right now is writing down in his notebook, don't change just right sides.
Yeah, you know, and this is a test for many of them. They've seen it didn't work on some cars too good, but every car is different as Benson now comes into the pits on the backstretch to get that piece of, he got the black flag, so he's in. But it will let them know, they check the lap speeds and say, well, now if this happens late in the race, maybe 40 or 50 laps to go, how will it work for us then?
Here's a change of position back in 6th spot as Ted Musgrave picks up a position over Musgrave. Bill?
Well, Jeremy Mayfield's having a strong run right behind Musgrave on the racetrack. At the start of the race, his car wasn't very good. It was very, very loose. They made a major chassis adjustment. Paul Andrews just told me the car's still a little bit loose, but obviously it's running much better, and Jeremy continues his march toward the front.
Bill Elliott is on the lead lap. He's in 8th position.
He's been in a lot of heavy traffic all day long, but he's a cool customer out there. He drives his race and takes care of his car, staying right in there.
Back to the lead, we see Hamilton. And Bobby Hamilton ran 20.732, and Jeff Gordon ran 20.777. So you see, it's only a little bit, 5/400ths of a second, but it is a little bit of difference, and that's all that these fellows operate on, just hundredths of a second. Jeff Gordon last shot just took 2. Bobby Hamilton took 4 tires.
Nearing the halfway mark, 40 laps to go to halfway. It's still Bobby Hamilton who has led 181 laps so far of the first 210. Gordon second, followed by Andretti, Wallace, and Irvin. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 on this Monday afternoon from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. There's the leader, Bobby Hamilton. Second place belongs to Jeff Gordon.
Well, you know that Robert Larkin's the crew chief, all the McClure boys. Runt Pittman got to be delighted with the way that Kodak Film Chevrolet is running, because they really have not had a very good season in 1998. Nothing to write home about, but today they sent all those postcards around the country. You got a great run in Martinsville, and they have had a super run.
His best finish so far in 1998 has been a 9th at Rockingham. There's Rusty Wallace, who's back in 4th. John Andretti up ahead in 3rd.
Best run for John Andretti this year as well.
The 8 and 81, Strickland and Kenny Wallace battling to stay on the lead lap. They're in 21st and 22nd position. Here's a field summary showing you the points as of now. Martin has moved up 1, Gordon 1, Elliott up 1. Terry Labonte, who will be in the 6th position, has lost 3 positions so far. Jarrett Burton and Earnhardt stay the same, and Ken Schrader will move up, has moved up 3 positions right now in the point standings.
Back to Michael Walton's car, some pretty serious damage. Someone got in the back of him as Hut Strickland tried to go by him on the inside. That's Hutton car, the Circuit City car. Michael Waltrip in the 21, the Citgo.
He's right there on your quarter.
Ted Musgrave just passed Ernie Irvin to go into 6th spot, make that 5th.
I think those two tires are beginning to tell on Ernie's car there now that he every time we've seen him up to today, he was moving forward, but now he's moving backwards a little bit.
Ted is the only member of the Jack Roush stable without a top 5 finish in 1998.
Back to this 21st and 22nd place battle between Hut Strickland and Kenny Wallace.
Into the Tabasco hot zone again to check on the telemetry, RPMs, miles an hour, and brakes.
And we saw over 9,000 RPMs in that Circuit City car.
Get around Kyle. We got to get around him.
And the reason they turned so many RPMs is try to help save the brakes. And Mark Beeson says you got to get around 44. You got to get around Kyle. Now you see the brake pedal.
Clear.
As he comes off the second board, goes down the back stretch. Let's see how hot the brakes are when he goes in the corner. We can see those rotors turning cherry red. Just how quickly that engine accelerates down the straightaway.
Leader is the 6th car behind you.
I'd started 25th, currently running in 22nd spot.
Last car on the lead lap.
Hangs on to the 8th spot.
I tell you what, Elliott doesn't have a lot of damage to his McDonald's school today.
And he's kept it pretty clean. I've seen him in some pretty tight situations, but he was very smart and smooth through them and came out with the McDonald's Ford basically unscathed.
Elliott has finished 3rd on 2 different occasions here as his best finish. And Jerry Punch has more from the pit area.
I spoke to Mike Bean this morning, who told me that they tested here last week with their test driver, Dennis Setzer, and Setzer helped them immensely in getting this car set up. He told them some stuff, helped them with the setup, and that's one of the reasons Bill was so strong in practice and awfully good in qualifying. Of course, they have some big plans down the road for that young man, Dennis Setzer.
In fact, they plan to run a car for him next week in the Die Hard 500 at Talladega.
Will that be Dennis Setzer's first once he got started there, or has he run a couple races before?
I believe that he has run a few races before over the years, maybe started a few.
Bill Elliott turning about 9,500 RPMs. He goes to the corner on the brakes, right in the middle of the corner. See, he jumps off the brake. You can't leave your foot on that brake pedal. If you do, you're not going to have any brakes. Watch, he slows the car down. As soon as it's slowing up, he takes his foot off the brake.
He has slowly closed in on the back of that Mobil 1 car up ahead, Jeremy Mayfield in 7th.
Right in the middle of the corner when they get back on their shoulder. They have to put that foot on the full board. Can't drag those brakes all the way around the racetrack.
Bobby Hamilton with a 1 3/10 second lead over Jeff Gordon. 233 laps have been completed. John Andretti, Rusty Wallace make up the top 4 here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Bobby Hamilton leads here at Martinsville. He is putting Jerry Nadeau 2 laps down. Jerry running in the 29th position. He has passed Hut Strickland, put him a lap down. So now 21 cars remain on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is Kenny Wallace. We're 8 laps from halfway.
Jerry Nadeau, I got to give a call to this kid because he didn't run very good to begin with because he was feeling everything out. But the last 100 laps or so, this first bus car has been getting around Martinsville Speedway about as well as a lot of these cars.
Now we're riding along with Kenny Wallace, and he is, again, the last car on the lead lap. As we look back of him, we see the leader, Bobby Hamilton, closing in.
And right in front of Kenny Wallace is Dale Earnhardt. So Earnhardt in 20th position. He's about to go a lap down, too.
Brake pedal stuff or something, but see, now you can see his foot is just right above that brake pedal, and it's touching the pedal, and that's causing the thing to light up, and it's really truly causing the brake fluid to overheat.
And he doesn't realize that he's touching it.
No, he does not realize. When he goes home and watches this on tape, he'll say, man, I got to be sure to put my foot on the floorboard rather than have it poised on top of that brake pedal. He's braking with his left foot and using the accelerator with his right foot.
Bickle, there he is. He's had a pretty good run. Finally goes a lap down, but he's running in 20th spot.
Wow, he is having
Kenny know the 4 cars down there?
Wow. I think Kenny got loose off turn. Either that or that camera came loose in that car because all the time it started waving back and forth. And baby.
That's Rich Bickle in the 98 this week.
Well, they're fighting hard to stay on that lead lap, and you can't blame them.
Meanwhile, here comes Jeff Gordon.
And there goes Bobby Hamilton.
Down to Jerry Punch.
Guys, as competitive as this sport is, it just goes to show you can never have enough experienced people. And Bobby Hamilton running awfully well. You talked about how great the McClures were doing. Robert Larkin, the crew chief. Take a look at the guy they've added to the team as of 2 weeks ago. His title is consultant. We're talking about Gary Dehart. And Gary Dehart was a crew chief for Hendrick Motorsports and was a crew chief for Terry Labonte when he won the 1996 Winston Cup Championship. Dehart came on board for the Kodak team just prior to Texas. He is a weekend consultant. Robert Larkins is the crew chief. But boy, all that experience is certainly paying off with an excellent run here at Martinsville today.
Well, Bobby Hamilton just picked up $10,000 for leading at the halfway mark.
Yeah, boy, Bobby, that'll help out the payroll and all that other stuff over at Morgan McClure Motorsports.
And boy, he deserves it too, because he's led enough laps here today. He deserved to be out front when the big man came on.
An AutoZone on-track interval will show you very graphically what happened when Bobby Hamilton was caught in traffic.
Well, the biggest thing is this run right here, the 21.5. That's the real killer because all the rest of them are pretty good. But we look at Jeff Gordon, man, all those speeds very, very consistent, and that's what you're looking for, running those laps the same lap after lap.
Todd Bodine going a lap down in 19th.
It's now the Square D car as he looks back at, I guess, that was the Tabasco car, I'm sorry.
About 3 laps ago, Todd got very loose coming off of turn 2, got the car sideways, and Bobby Hamilton was able to just run right up on him. And then pass him the next lap.
Todd Bodine, the Tabasco car, running 19th, just not going a lap down. So Dale Earnhardt would be the next car to go a lap down in 18th spot.
Dale Jarrett has moved into the top 10. He's in 9th position. And we've been watching him all day. The positions that he gains on the racetrack, he loses a lot because he's pitting on the backstretch.
He came out of the pits the last time in 15th position. As you say, has moved back into 9th now.
Ray Dunlap is covering the back pit.
Well, Bob, you see that Todd Bodine going down a lap, and Earnhardt might be next, but DJ has a very, very fast race car. When he came off the truck here on Friday, they thought he was going to have a shot at the pole, but qualifying doesn't always go the way you think it's going to, and he started 23rd. Now, he's got the first pit stall back here, but as you guys are talking about, pitting on the backstretch is a big problem, but boy, is his car running great.
Ricky Rudd, who qualified so well and has had a good run going all day, has not gone a lap down.
Yeah, and he only took on 2 tires on that last stop, and he's another one of them that that it hurt him. His car was good, but not as good as those that were running up in the first 5 or 6 positions. And then you put the 2-tire equation into it, and it has hurt him, I think.
Since his win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last August at Brickyard 400, things have not gone very well. He's only had 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, has not led a race, and finished on the lead lap only twice, none this year.
That's hard to believe.
It really is. You know, the last time a winner lapped the field here at Martinsville was in 1986, and that was Ricky Rudd.
And here we go. Hamilton's on the inside of Earnhardt. Trying to put him a lap down. Earnhardt in 17th spot. Both of them a little bit sideways.
You know, Dale might have learned something there. Up in that second groove, he's getting a better bite off the corner than he was down on the low side.
A little bit of contact there in turn 4. Hamilton still hasn't cleared him.
Did you call that nice skating when they silhouette each other?
I don't know.
Shouldn't have brought it up. I shouldn't have brought it up. Synchronized swimming and skating. What it looks like. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Someone in the
You
truck
knew it
told
would
me.
come to you.
Someone in the truck told me that. No, it would never come to me. And he finally does the job.
Yep. Hamilton finally puts a lap on Dale Earnhardt. Look at Jeff Gordon here and what happened a lap or 2 ago.
He gets in the 98 car and wow. Bickle did a great job.
Jeff Gordon continues to run second, about a second and a third behind Bobby Hamilton. We'll be right back. Pit stops being completed here on the front stretch as we are under caution once again. Hamilton just beat Musgrave out of the pits at least. We had an incident over in turn number 2 that has brought out the caution once again. Johnny Benson ended up against the wall. Lake Speed ended up facing the other direction. Now look what happened during the caution. Bobby Hamilton sees the incident ahead of him.
Ever see Lake Speed in the middle of the racetrack? Earnhardt sees, he hits the accelerator and says, here's my chance to get a lap back. He dives on the inside of Hamilton. They go in turn 3. Now Hamilton says, I need to keep his 3-car lap down. He goes on the outside because there is a slow car there, but Earnhardt wisely goes up the hill, moves Hamilton up just a little bit, enough that he can't get that run off the corner, and Earnhardt gets that lap back.
And Rich Bickle tried to get the lap back right there at the line, but NASCAR ruled that he did not. Now, also during this caution period, look what happened to Mark Martin.
He was running in 10th place, and it looks like he headed into the pits, Bob.
Yeah.
And then the pits were closed. Is that right, Bill Weber?
That's exactly right, Ned. And what happened is Mark realized his mistake too late. The pits were closed. He swung the car back to the right, hit the water barrels that protect the end of the wall. He is now pitted. He's in pit road for his second visit. He says the car is towed in badly. The crew working to pull the sheet metal away from the left front. The left front tire was basically destroyed when Mark had his impact with the water barrels. He's going to head back out on the racetrack, and he may be back in for more repairs. So we're under caution at the Goody 500. 268 laps on the board. Bobby Hamilton, the leader. More racing action coming up on ESPN. Stay with us.
The green flag comes out and racing resumes just as you rejoin us here at Martinsville. Hamilton still has the lead. Rusty Wallace is now second, followed by Musgrave, Gordon, and Andretti.
So Ted Musgrave had his shot. Let's see what's going to happen with the Prime Star car. Never see the first 3 cars divided by Ricky Rudd. That orange and white car is Ricky Rudd. He's a lap down. Here comes Musgrave right up behind him.
16 cars on the lead lap. Rudd is in 17.
All this overhead action courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. Mark Martin is still on the lead lap, but Hamilton is coming up on him.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to stay there long. fact, his car is not up to full speed, and here comes Hamilton. He'll go around him and put a lap on Mark.
So the most recent winner in NASCAR Winston Cup competition at Texas, Mark Martin, goes a lap down after hitting the barrels, protecting the end of pit road, and damaging the car significantly.
Rich Bickle has slowed dramatically on the backstretch. Don't know what his problem might be.
And looks what this does to Mark Martin in the points as of right now in our Napa field summary.
Well,
it stays in 4th place.
Yeah, it's not hurt too badly yet, but that's as of right now.
Both Labonte and Ken Schrader will gain 3 positions. Here's the 98 car of Rich Bickle that's gone behind the wall.
And they had a great run going today. Had a very fast race car. So Mike Hillman and all those guys, Tony and Bob in the engine room, sorry about that, and Cale Yarborough and the folks at Thornapple Valley.
Bobby Hamilton has clinched the 5 extra points for leading the most laps here today. We understand it was a motor on the 98.
And again, that's the problem at this racetrack. The engines take such a beating, turning 93, 94 RPM, trying to save those brakes. And we still got a long ways to go. Still over 200 laps to go in this event. So.
If the race were to end now, Chevy would have the manufacturer's points lead.
That's because they're tied right now.
Coming into the race, they were tied. Of course, Chevrolet's out front at the moment. They've been out front most of the day.
Ted Musgrave running back in 3rd spot. Behind him is Jeff Gordon. Musgrave's best finish here was in 95. The spring race, he finished 2nd. There's John Andretti running 5th. Ernie Irvin is running in 6th position. And as we go back to find the 7th place competitor, we find that it is Jeremy Macefield. Look at the laps led today by Chevy, 271. Ford has only been out front 11 laps and Pontiac none.
They're going to put a pretty good dent in that stat that's been the other way around a lot this year.
Bill Elliott about 5 3/4 seconds behind in 8th position.
Rusty Wallace is taking a look. Our roof camera shows that Bobby Hamilton, that Kodak film car, right in front of Rusty. Rusty is going to try it on the outside. I think he's trying to fake him out so he can dive down to the inside.
You'll recall Rusty was black flagged for jumping the start. It cost him a victory, and he's out for a little bit of revenge here this afternoon. He has won the last 4 of 5 spring races at this facility. And he was en route to win that fall race last year when the black flag came out.
Jeff Burton went on to win that race.
Yep. Now let's see who was fastest that last lap. Looks like that Hamilton was.
Just barely.
Yeah, they were all running pretty close.
Looks like Rusty made a pretty spirited run towards Hamilton, and when he couldn't get by him, he decided, look, I'm using my car up way too much.
Waltrip is spinning in turn 2. He
right in front of the leaders.
Yep. Mark Martin had some contact with him, and the caution waves once again.
There's a piece of debris, piece of aluminum or something laying on the racetrack over there. DW's going the wrong way. Caution flag waves again.
Now he gets a break in the traffic and gets the car headed in the right direction. That car was damaged on the 4th lap in a crash and has even more damage now here on the 288th circuit.
Now he's tearing it to pieces.
Yeah.
He is in 42nd position, 167 laps down.
At the other end of the spectrum, it is Bobby Hamilton who is dominating this race like Jeff Gordon did last year. Here's the incident. Contact between Martin and Darrell Waltrip, spinning Darrell around and doing damage to both cars. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay with us. The National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR, is observing its 50th anniversary of sanctioning races. NASCAR's 50th anniversary is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of NASCAR fans. It may be NASCAR's shortest track at just over 1/2 mile in length, but Martinsville Speedway has NASCAR's longest history. H. Clay Earls built and opened the Speedway in 1947, even before the formation of the NASCAR organization. Today, Martinsville is the only remaining NASCAR-sanctioned track dating back to the start of NASCAR. There have been many milestones at the facility. Hendrick Motorsports scored its first ever victory in 1984 with Jeff Bodine behind the wheel. That win started an avalanche for the Hendrick Motorsports team. 73 victories and over $47 million in winnings in just over 14 seasons. 50 years have gone by, and NASCAR racing has gone from being just a regional pastime to a national phenomenon. And while so many things have changed over the years, one constant still remains: the half mile of Martinsville Speedway. Back to racing here at Martinsville. We first came here, ESPN did, in 1981 to televise the NASCAR Winston Cup race, and Morgan Shepherd was the winner that day. Well, he's in competition here this afternoon, running 19th in the car normally handled by Mike Skinner.
That was Morgan's first win in the NASCAR Winston Cup competition.
And Morgan has not had a bad run today. Remember, he stalled out in turn 1, lost a lap. He's still 1 lap down.
Jerry has a report on Rusty Wallace, who's all over Bobby Hamilton.
Although he's all over the 4-car, Bob, he has complained that there is a problem, and apparently the caution is going to come out. There's some debris on the racetrack, and Rusty will be able to resolve a problem. He said he turns the car in the corner, and it's like the wedge comes out of it. They think they may have too small a sway bar on. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment to try to help Rusty get the car, the hookup coming on.
And Ernie Irvin coming down to the caution flag, running the back of Robert Presley, might have damaged the Skittles car. There was some damage. I hope he didn't close any air ducts going to the brakes.
It's the 9th caution of the day. Kyle Petty did spin just after the green flag came out. However, there was no caution for that. But now, a couple of laps later, we do have a caution flag. And right here is Kyle spinning with Jerry Nadeau.
And the field gets by, and Kyle just does a donut there and brings it on around, but the leaders are coming around. He almost goes a lap down, or another lap down. He was already 1 lap down, and he was about to go 2 laps down. And as they came across to start, let's take a look and see if we can see what happened that caused that. It looked like now it got bumped a little bit. He and maybe might have got together going into the turn. So anyway, he spun out, and then as it came back to the start-finish line, he did stay in that lap, though it didn't lose it.
Just a little over 200 laps to go here. More of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 in a moment. ESPN Speed World is live today at Martinsville Speedway for the Goody's Headache Powder 500, being brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. By Quaker State Motor Oil, for what you drive and the way you drive it. And also by Home Depot. Now here's Kyle Petty, and he has had more problems here after the spin.
Now this is live. He's on pit road, but he was in the pits just a moment ago. And when he left the pits, the left rear tire came off.
All right, let's go back first of all and check out the spin that occurred as the cars were coming down for a green flag. There's the contact that sent Kyle around in turn number 3 and 4.
Okay, he gets it righted, comes on around. The leaders come up on him, but he doesn't go another lap down. But then he comes into the pits to change the right side tires and apparently had loosened the left rear at least. And he didn't know it, so he's going to beat the caution car out. But look at that left rear tire come off. The NASCAR official has to take evasive action.
Jimmy Cox says, "Let me out of here."
And it runs down into the NASCAR truck sitting there, that red truck.
And then an army of people. Here's the 43 guys. You know, this is a two-car team. And some of the Kodak guys have gone down there. They got 2 or 3 jacks down there. They got enough people to eat your car. They don't need any jacks. But it takes 15 of them to change that left rear tire.
Looks like a Formula One. Jerry?
And they had no air wrenches. They had to actually hand tighten the lug nuts and told Kyle to gingerly get it back around to the pits. One of the reasons you never turn your back to the action is because that tire rolled right by 2 NASCAR officials about 3 feet from me and bounced off the door of this truck. I wonder if Mr. Earl will send Kyle a bill for a door on his GMC truck.
We go back to racing at the 302nd lap.
Kenny Wallace, the 81 car, squared E car down there, said, "Well, we got to get a lap back." And Bobby Hamilton says, "No, I think I'm a little too fast today for that to happen."
Kenny's running 16th, not having a bad race at all.
He's the first car 1 lap down. Dave Musgrave says, "Let me get on by here. I can work on those guys up there if I can just get me a clear racetrack." And he's thought he had it, went a little high. Yeah, I think he's got it now.
Kenny Wallace, by the way, recorded his career best finish in September of '94 here. Now Rusty's trying to get the lead from Hamilton.
And I think he's going to get a run down the back stretch.
Yep, couldn't get the traction he needed coming off of turn 2.
Looks like Rusty's a little bit better through the corners, but Hamilton is able to pull away from him on his straightaway. Running back there in 3rd.
Looks like on the first couple laps is when Rusty needs to get by, because after they run a few laps, then Hamilton seems to start pulling away from Rusty just a little bit.
I think that's one reason that Bobby fights him as hard to keep him back there. He said, wait till my tires get seated, get a little heat in them, then I'll be able to handle this front position.
That film Chevrolet looks so good. Goes in the corner, sets there, comes off the corner. Very seldom have we seen the back end kick out on that car.
Bobby Hamilton was the pole sitter and will pick up $106,400 in the 76 Challenge if he wins this race. And Joe Nemechek is showing a lot of smoke.
Yes, he is. I don't know if that's rear gearing smoke or engine or what it is. And it is their fluid coming out, but he is definitely doing a lot of smoking. He'll probably get a black flag here pretty shortly.
And he's about to spin out.
Yeah, I would say there's fluid coming out of that car.
Joe, look in the mirror there, buddy. He doesn't have to look in the mirror. He sees inside the car by now. Now he's finally trying to get out of down to the inside, but there's so many cars going by, it's going to be difficult to do.
Yeah, the yellow flag is out. So.
Caution does come out. So they may have to put out some oil dry on the track because of that. In any case, the caution out for the 8th time this afternoon. 310 of the 500 laps completed. We'll be right back. Still under caution here at Martinsville Speedway, where the Pennzoil copter cam is circling overhead and providing the overhead shots. Pit stops just occurred under this caution flag. Although we just had pit stops not too long ago, let's take a look at what happened here as they come down.
Hamilton leads the way. Musgrave comes into a stop. Jeff Gordon comes into a stop. Now watch the Jeff Gordon car. Watch that 3rd car back, the DuPont car. Right side's going on. Right side's on the first 2 cars. Cleaning the windshield on Jeff Gordon's car. And away he goes. Right side's only. Here comes Jeremy Mayfield. And Bobby Hamilton still in the pits. Left side going on. And we see trouble back on the left rear.
And he lost several spots, Jerry.
Actually, they didn't have trouble changing the tire. What they had trouble with was a little bit of a communications. And Bob Lord, who is the rear tire carrier for the 4-car, said, it's my first race over the wall, and I made a mistake, and I'm going to own up to it. I made a mistake. I'm supposed to stay out of the way until the rear tire changer, Ronald Queen, gets around there. But I wasn't. Queen had to go around me to get to the rear tire, and that cost us about 3 extra seconds and cost us some spots on the racetrack.
So we're going to see just how good that 4-car is. Ray Dunlap.
Bob, if you take a look at the leaderboard, guess who's up there? Dale Earnhardt. Believe it or not, now he did not come in and pit for tires, and the reason is they had just pitted and only had 13 laps on those tires, so Earnhardt stayed out. Now Dale Jarrett did come in. Dale was not happy with the set of tires that was on the car, so they put 1 round of bite in the left rear and put him back out on the racetrack, but Earnhardt will be the leader.
How about that?
And Randy LaJoie will be second. He, too, made a pit stop during the last caution when Earnhardt did, so he's up there in second place.
Fire up your laptop and stop by NASCAR Online at www.nascar.com and cast your vote for who you think will carry NASCAR's torch into the new millennium. And then find out who won that award by tuning in to see NASCAR's Night in Hollywood, a golden celebration that will be on Saturday night, May the 2nd at 7 o'clock. That's going to be such a great night, as you'll be able to see such performers scheduled to appear. Dwayne Eddy and Mike Love and Penn and Teller and Sister Sledge and all kinds of personalities. That's Saturday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, May the 2nd. 316 laps completed. Dale Earnhardt is the leader here at Martinsville. Back in a moment.
Ready to go, bud.
Cars head out of turn number 4, looking for a green. Earnhardt and Randy LaJoie are first and second, followed by Jeff Gordon and then Jeremy Mayfield.
Now here's Morgan Shepherd, Earnhardt's teammate, trying to get back on the lead lap. He has the preferred line down on the inside, and he's back on the lead lap.
Now 15 cars that are on the lead lap. Waltrip in the Wood Brothers car, running 26th, 2 laps down.
And Hutch Strickland, who's had a great run going, the Circuit City cars on the hits in the backstretch.
I thought he had a left front tire maybe that was flat. We overheard some of the radio conversation during the caution flag just as they were about to get the green.
And Nemechek's problem was what, a broken valve cover?
Well, it fitted on the valve cover. They have an oiling system that oils the valve springs because they turn so many RPMs here, and they have fittings on the back on the valve cover for that, and one of those fittings broke off.
Riding with Hutch Strickland now. And a battle for position, 9th spot between Andretti and Ernie Irvan. Run is a lap down in 18th.
Morgan Shepherd has just driven away from Dale Earnhardt up there, so he's in good shape to do another caution.
The
99 car is up to 11th position, so you were right, BP.
Yeah, he's got an awfully good race car. He had to use too much of that to stay there. Jeff Gordon trying to close in on LaJoie. Second spot.
Here's a Bud race recap. Dale Earnhardt currently the leader, but he's led only 12 of the 323 laps that we have completed. 9 lead changes, 10 caution periods, and an average speed less than 70 miles an hour. Here are the drivers who have picked up the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Bobby Hamilton has gotten the 5 for leading the most laps. In terms of attrition, Rich Bickle and Johnny Benson are the only 2 cars that are off the track. And only 2 out of the race, namely Kevin LePage and David Green. Now Jeff Gordon looks like he's pulling Jeremy Mayfield along with him and trying to get into second, but Now Rusty Wallace takes over the 5th spot from Bill Elliott.
And Jeff Gordon still not able to get by LaJoy.
Apparently it's pretty slick down on the bottom of the racetrack from that oil or whatever it was that Joe Nemechek put down on the track, and he just couldn't get traction down there. But Gordon only changed 2 tires, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
You see LaJoy is going in the corner and slipping up the racetrack, but I guess as Ned said, it's a slippery there that Gordon's not able to capitalize. Rusty Wallace moves on the inside of his teammate, Jeremy Mayfield.
Well, he don't get any resistance, and he gets traction too.
4th, 5th, and 6th right there. Rusty's now 4th, Jeremy 5th, and Bill 6th. Right along with Elliott.
Jeff Burton just passed Ernie Irvin on that last lap and took over the 10th position.
Tabasco hot zone information. Bill Elliott. And here is Bobby Hamilton now going into 6th again. That car has been dominant all day, but he's never really had to come through very much traffic.
He started on the pole and, as you saw just a moment ago, led 281 laps. So, and Jeremy Mayfield's not going to be too much of a problem for him to get by. He goes by right by on the outside.
Yeah, Jeremy just moved over and let him go. He knows how fast that 4 car is. He might need that favor someday too.
Still, Jeff Gordon not able to pass Randy LaJoy for 2nd spot.
LaJoy goes up the hill, accelerates off the corner, and
LaJoy's a little loose off of turn 4 there, but that time he was able to hang on. And Rusty's going to try to move on Gordon on the outside.
takes a look on the inside. Jeff gives him the room. Here comes Rusty. That's 3rd place we're swatching, and here comes Bobby Hamilton right behind him.
Gordon falls from 3rd to 5th. Check out the Henry Motorsports team and where they're running. Gordon 4th, Labonte 30th, and Randy LaJoy is 2nd. Terry has not had a good weekend here this weekend and Monday.
Hard to imagine that Hamilton keeps trying to pass Rusty Wallace on the outside at Martinsville. Now, that just, there's something wrong with me saying that.
7th, 8th, and 9th right here. Elliott, Ted Musgrave, John Andretti. And behind Andretti is Jeff Burton, who's had all kinds of problems today, but is still in the top 10. Up front, meanwhile.
Here's Hamilton down to the inside of Rusty Wallace. He got that open, he took advantage of it.
And even racing the way he has been, he still has been gaining on Earnhardt.
See, Dale Earnhardt stayed out there, did not pit, and he ran 20.85. Hamilton ran 20.68. Almost 0.2 of a second per lap. And now he's trying to take a look on the inside of LaJoy.
Now the lap times on the AutoZone on-track interval.
You see, Earnhardt's running 20.8, 20.9. Look at Hamilton. 20.5 one lap.
Yep. Still working on Randy LaJoy, though, for 2nd.
And Hamilton dives to the inside of LaJoy. I think he might be able to get him.
Hamilton is going to come out of turn 4 with the advantage and take second spot, and now Rusty will try to get third.
Boy, Rusty just dove to the bottom of the racetrack.
Like he was shot out of a canyon.
Exactly. And he's going to try to take that spot away from LaJoy. Now, Dale Earnhardt's in trouble, I think, Ned.
Yeah, I think he is too. He's a sitting duck there now. He's got more laps on his tires. Plus, his car hasn't been as fast as Bobby Hamilton's all day anyway. So you wonder, well, what would be work to Earnhardt's advantage? Certainly good pit strategy worked to his advantage to put him up here. But for the rest of the race, what would work good? Well, I don't know. If the race would end right now, that'd be the best thing that could happen to him. But that isn't going to happen. Bobby Hamilton's going to pass him right there.
Hamilton retakes the lead.
And if caution comes out, they're in a window now that they could go the rest of the way on one more pit stop. Maybe some of them can anyway, I don't know. But anyway, Earnhardt pitting on the backstretch, so that's going to hurt him.
See, Jeff Gordon's been able to get by Randy LaJoy. You wonder just how tough for Bobby Hamilton, how hard it was going to be for him to get through the traffic. We found out. Not too difficult.
Relatively easy. Wait a second. This looks like a NASCAR modified race.
Yeah, the rear bumper is gone off this car.
And the front one gone off of that one.
Exactly.
Sterling Marlin, yeah. But such is life in Winston Cup racing at Martinsville. Hamilton's back on top. Back after these messages. It has been a Bobby Hamilton day so far. He has almost totally dominated this race and is out front once again by almost a second and a half over Rusty Wallace. Never been in the back of the pack. He's been in the 6th through 10th position 19 times and has been for 330 laps between 1st and 5th, and most of those up front. Yeah. 289 of them, to be exact.
Has a great race car, and he is driving it to perfection.
And we see Morgan Shepherd, who passed Dale Earnhardt to get back in the lead lap. Well, Morgan needs a caution flag pretty doggone soon, or Hamilton is going to put him one more lap, a lap back again.
Yeah, he can see that yellow car coming, and he's gaining about 0.2 of a second to lap on him. Morgan running up on a lot of traffic there, and he won't get the passing flag advantage that Hamilton will get when he gets to that point.
Bobby Hamilton has won twice in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. His most recent victory was at Rockingham last October.
We've got a spin on the backstretch.
Spin on the backstretch. Kenny Wallace and Chad Little. Wallace gets the worst end of the deal, and the caution is waving once again.
Yep. And here's that caution we talked about. They can definitely go the rest of the way if they stop this time with 144 laps to go.
And Morgan Shepherd gets that lap back in that Lowe's car, so
work for him. Will they pit? I would guess they will, but knowing that they can go the rest of the way.
I would think certainly that LaJoy and Earnhardt will pit, who right now pit road is closed.
However, the pace car has picked up the field back in the backstretch, so probably when they come around, it will be open.
Yeah, those pit crew guys are all in those guns. Let's see if we can see what happened. Let me see Steve Grissom alongside Kenny Wallace.
And then Chad Little started up under him, and they got together.
Down to Bill Weber.
Jeremy Mayfield is here. He'll get 4 tires and fuel, but the problem with Jeremy is he says the brakes are terrible. The pedal goes almost to the floor. So he'll have to battle that handicap for the last 150 laps here. Jerry Punch.
No changes among the leaders. They will get 4 tires, and as you heard Ned say, this should be the final pit stop. Here's John Andretti down pit road. He'll be the first out. Left side rubber going on the 4 car. Here comes the 4 and the 2 and 12. Let's go to Ray Dunlap in the back pits.
Earnhardt on the backstretch, a half a pound down on the right front. It's going to be 4 tires and gas. Morgan Shepherd's also in the Lowe's Chevrolet. Back on the lead lap. Earnhardt's down and away.
And Dale Jarrett also pulling out. The 43 car of John Andretti was first off pit road, and so he takes over the lead of this race. That's the first time a Pontiac has been out front today. Bobby Hamilton will fall into second position and Jeremy Mayfield third. Welcome back to ESPN Speed World live coverage of the Goody's Headache Powder 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Well, the leader of the race is John Andretti. Jerry, did he only take 2 tires?
Bob, that's exactly right. They put only 2 right side tires on the STP Pontiac. I asked Robbie Loomis why, the crew chief for the John Andretti said, Doc, we tried it earlier in the race and realized that really didn't hurt our lap times that much. Plus, we only had about 40 laps on the left side tires, so we're okay. We knew we couldn't beat them anyway if we put 4 on. They put 4, so we'll put 2 on and see if we can hang on and make them use their brakes to pass us. Let's check in now with Bill Weber.
This morning we interviewed Brett Bodine for an upcoming feature on RPM Tonight, and he talked about today how his car was running well, that he's as close to running well again competitively as he has been in a long time. Well, he just took 2 right side tires for the second time today. They did it earlier, it worked well. The left side tires on Brett's car have 45 laps on them. We'll have to see how that combination works. Brett Bodine's only Winston Cup win came 8 years ago this Wednesday. Ray.
Well, Bill, in the last 4 races here at Martinsville, Dale Jarrett has not posted a top 10, but with great pit work here on the backstretch, they're currently running 11th. Yeah, it's a disadvantage back here, and we can tell that by looking at Earnhardt. He came in the top 5, put on 4 tires, and went out 12.
We are still under caution, so we'll get another break in here. It's Andretti and Bobby Hamilton, first and second under caution at Martinsville. Welcome back to Martinsville, where the green flag is waving once again. John Andretti is leading, but here comes Bobby Hamilton again.
On the outside again. Let's see if he can make it work. Drive deeper into that turn. Boy, what a great race car he has.
And if he can just win this thing, then he will be paid well for his good race car today, because the Unical Challenge is now, what, Bob, $106,400?
Yep. That's in addition to anything he wins from the purse.
Yeah, which would be close to $100,000. And that is for winning from the pole. Unical's been a while since anybody has won that Unical money.
It increases $7,600 every time it is not won. And Bobby Hamilton, it looks like, Andretti is
still
making
there.
It tough, isn't it?
Yeah, making him work for it. That's the way it ought to be.
That's right.
During the last caution period, Rusty Wallace and teammate Jeremy Mayfield had a conversation with each other, each asking how the other's car was handling, and Jeremy said, "What's it been like up there at the front?" And Rusty says, "It's good. I'm glad you're up here. You're back on the program. You got 4 new tires. Let's go." And Jeremy says, "Yeah, I've got 4 tires, but I don't have a lot of brake left." The crew is hoping that it's just that one run where Jeremy's brakes got very warm. They're hoping that they were able to cool down under caution and it will improve. I doubt that's going to happen. But Jeremy asked Rusty, how about that 4 car? And Rusty said he's going to be tough to get around.
Right now, he's having a tough time getting around the 43 of John Andretti. They've run side by side for 2-3 laps now.
Almost in front. Almost he can drive down, but no, here comes Andretti back again.
Dale Jarrett hit the wall a few laps ago coming off of turn 4. He got caught up in some traffic and flipped the wall. Don't know if it hurt him or not, but
And I think Hamilton go down. I'm sorry, Ned. He cost him some spots. Jarrett did a moment ago.
yeah, a couple of them.
Napa Field summary, points as of now, with Gordon moving up 2, Labonte down 1.
I don't think Rusty Wallace can run that outside line. He's tried it a couple times, but Hamilton seems to be the guy that can go inside or outside.
35 car has gone behind the wall. That's Todd Bodine. Well, Johnny Benson is taking a beating in the points if they were to be awarded right now, down to 16th.
Wow, Rusty lost some time to the 43 car down there. Here we see a battle for position. That's Brett Bodine, the paychecks. And Jeff Gordon, the DuPont car. Gordon takes a look on the inside. That's a battle for 6th spot.
Yeah, Brett Bodine was 5th when we went back to racing. He has since been passed by Ted Musgrave and now loses his spot to Jeff Gordon. Nevertheless, Brett Bodine is having his best run of the year. His best finish so far this year has been a 16th. What happened to Todd Bodine, Ray?
Well, Bob, they had a pretty good run going in the Tabasco Pontiac, but I just walked over and looked at Todd, and he said the engine just broke.
That's Mark Smith, the engine builder. Did not want to hear those words, I'm sure.
Behind Brett Bodine is Ernie Irvin, who's been up front all day.
And Bill Elliott, and there's Jeff Burton. That 99 car, the winner here last fall.
8th, 9th, and 10th. Bill has more on this comeback by Jeff Burton.
And it has turned into a remarkable day for the Exide Ford. About 50 laps ago, a member of their crew said, you know, everything that possibly could happen to us has. That's a dangerous statement with about 170 to go. Now a spin down in turn 4. The 41 car goes around. He's able to continue. And we stay under green. But basically, Frank Stoddard, the crew chief on the 99 car, told me that their car's very good. Now, he told me this about lap 140. He just wanted to get a break and see if we can get back to the front. Well, now Jeff's trying to get inside of Bill Elliott and continue that charge to the front. Now the 8 car spins and the caution comes out.
Yep, Hut Strickland over in turn number 2 is facing the wrong direction, and so the caution once again comes out for the 10th time.
You're going to have to, yeah. We'll get tires. You get caught up here, and then we'll get tires.
That was Jim Long telling him that as soon as the field goes by, get caught up and we'll get
when it rains, it's it. So let's just keep thinking.
120 laps to go. 380 have been completed. Well, they're going to pit.
Hut Strickland went down pit road, the left front tire's flat on his car, so he couldn't afford to run in another lap.
They're going to pit?
I don't think so. Do you, Dan?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't believe so. They've only run, about 20 laps since they were. But maybe those that are on the tail end of the lead lap might do it. They'd have nothing to lose.
That would be Schrader and Shepard and... Nope. Looks like everybody's staying out there. Back in a moment with more of the Goodies 500. Landscaping and the manicuring always very tip-top here at Martinsville Speedway, Virginia, the place that H. Clay Earls built back in the late 40s. Well, we are under caution here at Martinsville once again. We've got some marks there on the racetrack, and that's because we had a little incident up in turn number 4 a few laps ago. And then...
did not cause a caution flag, as a matter of fact. That we see... Here we see the cars come off the corner. There's the 41 Steve Grissom. The 30 car of Jeff Green gets in the back of him. Grissom nails the gas, tries to do the 360, and does it. Good job, Steve.
Very good.
He puts it in gear and drives away. No caution flag, but the cars go down in turn 1, and Hut Strickland spun out.
Exactly.
And here's Hut Strickland going around the racetrack live. He's been in the pits and changed those tires, that flat tire. Now then, the pace car's off. Green flag about to come out. Car, a lap down, trying to get a lap back, couldn't quite do it.
Running 16th.
We had a few cars that made pit stops on that last caution flag. Kenny Schrader, the 33 car, stole car, pitted on the front stretch, and Dale Jarrett pitted on the back. And there we see Jimmy Spencer coming off too, has looped it, but he fires the engine. We see it. He's waiting for the caution flag. He wants a caution flag. Oh, no, not for the leader, Jimmy, but he did it.
Ooh, this could get ugly.
Somebody has to hit.
Caution is out now, though. Jimmy was very slow on the restart. I don't know if he had a tire down or what the problem was, but a lot of cars were dodging him around. So he must have had a tire down, and then he spun it out off turn 2.
Another caution. This the 12th of the afternoon.
We're going to rival Bristol here in a little bit.
Yeah, no kidding. And they've all come here in succession, it seems.
Now, question, will any of these cars pit again?
Okay, we see Spencer in the 23 car down on the inside, and you see the car just gets loose, goes out from under him. I think he had a flat tire.
And that's probably why he sat there wanting the caution flag to come out, because he knew he had to go to the pits and change tires, and he'd much rather do it on the caution. And here they all come. Bill Weber.
Jeremy Mayfield will be among to reach his pit stall. This should be a 4-tire stop. Some teams have discussed going with 2. That hasn't worked with a lot of guys today. Mayfield has not talked much about his brake problem, so maybe it is improving. Right sides are on. They come around to the left. There will be 4 tires at fuel. Jerry Punch.
Likewise, 4 tires for car number 4 and the car number 2. Bobby Hamilton, as Gordon is down and away. Rusty Wallace gets the break. He wanted to come in and get tires on the last caution, but did not because Hamilton didn't pit. Now he is down and away. Hamilton comes out behind the 12 car of Mayfield. Let's check in the Earnhardt pit with Ray.
Well, Jerry, they came in. They're going to do a 4-tire change on the 3 car, but 1 car decided to stay out, and that's Dale Jarrett in the number 88. They had taken 1 pound of air out of all 4 tires on that last pit stop. And I said to Brad Parrott, what are you doing that for? He said, well, it's going to make us better and we're going to win the race.
Okay, well.
It's going to put them in the best position, track position that they've been all day. Now, John Andretti didn't stop, so he's going to be leading the race. Ken Schrader didn't stop because he stopped on that last caution, as Benny pointed out. So he's going to be second. Jarrett's going to be third. And Randy LaJoie pitted on that last caution as well, so he's going to be in 4th place.
And then Jeff Gordon, who was the first to lead those along the front stretch here out of the pits. So it's going to be an interesting race to the checkers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. One lap completed under green. John Andretti setting the pace at the moment. Ken Schrader in second, then Dale Jarrett and Randy LaJoie. Bobby Hamilton all the way back in 10th position, but he's got, what, almost 95 laps to...
No, he's got 105 laps.
Yeah.
You knew that, didn't you, Bob?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
I just want to see my calculator today.
3 wide here through the corner.
Hus Strickland's having some trouble in the 8 car, the Circuit City car, and I think he's got another flat tire.
Wow.
Ain't okay, I can assure you that. Get over, guys. Look it over.
Where is Bobby Hamilton today as we watch the cars up front? Watch the right of your screen. He's going to come into the picture. There he is. Boy, he is in some heavy traffic. The only time he's been in that much traffic today is when he was lapping cars back in the first couple 100 laps of the race.
He does take a position away from Jeremy Mayfield. He's now up to 10th spot. Kenny Wallace, the squared E car, is a lap down. The next car for position would be the 2 car of Rusty Wallace. We're talking about the car that Hamilton would have to catch and pass, so there's several lap cars between he and Rusty Wallace.
It's not been a good day for Mark Martin. He is 4 laps down, way back in 31st position.
Made a mistake. He started to come into the pits. Pits were not open. He veered to the right, hit the end of the pit wall, or the barriers that protect the end of the pit wall. We'll show you what happened. Here he is. He's headed towards the pit, and all of a sudden he realized the pits were not open. Tried to get back on the racetrack, but hit that retainer.
Never seen Mark around the racetrack with Valvoline Ford fighting an Neil Allen car, because when he hit the barrier there, it messed up the toe end on the car. They tried to adjust it as best they can. Martin's really not fighting the thing too hard as he goes to the corner, just tugs it to the left, lets it ease back to the right.
Mark's 25th race here in Martinsville, 7 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and was 3rd in last year's race.
Robert Presley has moved around the 43 car of John Andretti and got one of his laps back. Let's see, did that put him? Yeah, he's still one more down. He was 2 laps down, but he has passed John Andretti now.
Roberts back in 23rd position. Andretti's got over a second lead right now on Ken Schrader.
And we
know you're going to move up, BP.
Yes, you see, Rusty Wallace has been able to get by Bill Elliott. Now here comes Hamilton trying to do the same thing. And
Sterling Marlin loops coming off turn 4. No caution yet. He's rolling. There will be no caution.
Yep, he was down off the racetrack on the exit of pit road from the backstretch, so he was okay.
Meanwhile, there's John Andretti.
Of what happened to Sterling down there.
And this Kenny Irwin in the 28 car on the outside of him there, and looks like he just back in, went out from under it. Did they make contact?
Looks like they did. Looked like Irwin just barely caught Sterling Marlin in the right rear and around.
For the second place car is getting a challenge now from the lap car of Steve Grissom, trying to move by Kenny Schrader, and there's a string of cars back behind them that is being held up. Dale Jarrett, Randall LaJoy, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, all of them coming in on that crowd. Schrader's car is just not quite that fast, but he's in second place, so he doesn't need to give anything to anybody.
Musgrave just lost a spot to Rusty Wallace on that last lap. And here's Rusty taking a look on the outside of Jeff Gordon. As Jeff Gordon's trying to figure out how to get by Randy LaJoy.
Randy LaJoy trying to figure out how to get around Dale Jarrett.
Now this is a recipe for disaster right here.
It is. It is. Rusty looks up on the outside again.
Rusty gets a run this time. And here's Hamilton trying to go on the outside of Musgrave.
Here's a Napa field summary. Dale Jarrett, look, he's moved up 3 positions into 4th in the point standings as of right now. And Terry Labonte dropping a couple of spots. Mark Martin down 3, Schrader up 4, Earnhardt down 1. Hamilton on the outside. He's continuing to march.
He gets by Musgrave. Trying Rusty on the outside. Man, it doesn't sound right saying that.
Well, he's already done it a time or two today. So he knows he can do it, and he did it again.
Boy, he has been very impressive.
Yes, he has. A great, great race car. And a great job by Hamilton.
Another spin. Jeff Bodine is against the wall, and Jeff Burton was also involved, as was Steve Grissom, and that could have been a lot worse.
That's Brett Bodine. We saw Brett Bodine had a great run going.
Yep.
And Jeff Burton has a flat left front tire.
Well, there were 2 Bodines, Jeff and Brett, in that incident, along with Jeff Burton.
14 laps. How many of these lead cars will pit this time? That's the question.
I don't know. I don't believe any of them will pit. How about it, Bill? What do you think?
Well, we'll have to wait and see about the rest of the field, but Jeff Burton has already come in. He's got a left front tire, a new one, to replace the one he had went flat on him. His car's all beaten up and battered and smushed in, Benny, and you shouldn't say that everything's happened to you when you got 170 to go, but this crew's really battled, and but this could be the one that finally removes Jeff Burton from any chance of a real positive finisher. Now they're going to have to cut the rest of the sheet metal away, so we'll sit here on pit road a little longer.
Folks, now see the front of that car? That's what smushed is.
All right, from Kenny Wallace's perspective. Well, Kenny made it through, but you can't say so much for the 3 cars that were ahead of him.
And none of the leaders decided to pit.
Staying out there. Pennzoil Copter Cam continues to furnish us the aerial shots here at Martinsville Speedway. 415 completed. John Andretti, your leader in the Goodies 500. We'll be right back. About a half a lap away from going green again here at Martinsville, with John Andretti continuing to hang on to the lead over Schrader, Jarrett, LaJoie, and Gordon in NASCAR's 50th anniversary season. Pace cars off the track. Here we go again.
Mr. Rudd wants to get a lap back. He's in 15th, 1 lap down.
On the inside. Whoa, I thought we were going to be 3 abreast for just a second.
Rudd is only 1 lap down, so if he could get out in front and get a caution, he'd be back on the lead lap.
He's hanging tough.
Rudd's best finish this year was 12th at Las Vegas. Right now he's 15th.
Still, for 2 or 3 laps, he and John Andretti side by side.
Boy, Brandon LaJoie got a little loose coming off turn 2. Lost a little bit of ground. He didn't lose the position, though.
Andretti, of course, has won NASCAR Winston Cup victory. It came in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona last year.
Jarrett's taking a look down on the inside of Schrader.
Schrader's following Andretti. He figures he's going to be the one to make the pass first, but I don't know about that.
There's the battle for second spot.
But where are they going to go once they get up there? Whichever one gets that position. Looks like Andretti has beat Rudd into the turn now, so puts Rudd that lap down again. Jarrett's hoping Rudd will get on out of the way down in that bottom groove so he can maybe accelerate off this turn and beat Schrader, and he doesn't.
Yep. So Dale Jarrett into second. Remember, this race has only been won from the backstretch once in 1959. Here's a battle for position. Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon trying to get around Randy LaJoie.
And Hamilton gets back Gordon. Now he's going to try LaJoie on the outside. That car is just marching. Where did he start back? About 10th or 11th spot?
And just it doesn't matter who it is. He just comes up there and passes it.
So now put Bobby Hamilton in the 4th spot. He tries to take a look on the inside of Schrader. He's got to run. He's going to have the position.
Wow. And Rusty and Gordon side by side again.
For 6th spot. Bobby Labonte also in there, but he is a lap down in 16th.
Rusty Wallace gets by Jeff Gordon, moves into the 6th spot. Musgrave was cut on the outside of Bobby Labonte, cost him some time.
Here the Ford cars are running 2nd, 6th, 8th, 9th, and 10th in the top 10.
And LaJoy is trying to get by Schrader. And it looks like he will make that pass.
Andretti's Pontiac, the only one in the top 10.
And Hamilton is looking on the outside of Jarrett. That's the battle for second spot. Rudd, the 10 car, the time ride, is a lap down. And here comes the 24 car on the inside of Rusty Walsh, trying to get that spot back.
Good racing here in these closing laps.
Oh, a little contact. And Musgrave is trying to drive on the outside.
Whoa.
Rusty Walsh almost hit him.
That was a loose. Looked like dirt track racing.
Man, oh man.
They're going to root Rusty right out. Musgrave comes right on the inside.
These shots from the Pennzoil copter cam. And all of a sudden, Rusty Walsh extremely loose.
Battling for 7th there with Ted. Musgrave gets it. Rusty's back to 8th.
Well, no, wait a minute. He's fighting back. Now I think Musgrave has him. Yes, the move's up.
Oh, and Rusty loose again coming off the turn.
And now Musgrave is looking on the inside of Jeff Gordon, now trying on the outside. Right now, Musgrave knows it's really dangerous to move up to that outside. He may lose a spot to Rusty Wallace, but he also knows that he needs to go. If Jeff Gordon's holding him up, they still need to try to pass him. Battle for the lead.
Boy, Hamilton was a little sideways there off of turn number 4, but he's closing in on John Andretti.
That's the first time I've seen that 4-car slip all day.
Yeah. Well, he has come from what, 10th, I believe he was?
10th or 11th.
Yeah.
Wow. Looking on the outside, he's been good up in that top lane here this afternoon.
Even though Andretti is about to be passed to the lead, consider the job he has done. They did not pit on lap 390 when the 4-car pitted for 4 tires, and on the previous pit stop, the 43, only got 2 right side tires. So his right side tires are about 120 laps old. His left side tires were put on way back on lap 310. He's going to run the final 200 laps on the same left side tire.
Battle for 6th there, Musgrave and Gordon. Musgrave's best finish this year was in Las Vegas. He finished 6th, and that's the position he is trying to get from Gordon right now.
And they caught Kenny Schrader, the Skoll car. And Musgrave is clear of it now. Here's Rusty Wallace diving to the outside of Jeff Gordon. I think Jeff Gordon, didn't he change 2 right sides this last pit stop as well?
Yeah, you're right. Apparently that's beginning to tell on him.
Now Bobby Hamilton begins to stretch out the advantage just a little bit over John Andretti and the others. It's been his race so far, but there are 60 more laps to go. Musgrave now looking for 5th position from Ken Schrader.
Ted Musgrave on the lead.
Musgrave has 5th. Now Rusty Wallace is coming in on Schrader.
Down to the inside. Schrader's had trouble keeping his car down low on the racetrack.
to 7th now. As Bobby Hamilton continues to set the pace. We'll be back with more in a moment from Martinsville. ESPN Speed World covering the Goody's 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, and it's being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. By Everstart Batteries and Walmart, it all starts here. By Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. And by Quaker State Motor Oil, for what you drive and the way you drive it, the choice is clear. Clearly, Bobby Hamilton has the advantage now over John Andretti and Dale Jarrett. Randy LaJoie and Ted Musgrave are your top 5.
But the 24 car, Jeff Gordon, is having some kind of problem. He passed Kenny Schrader a few laps ago, and now the lap cars of Joe Nemechek and Bobby Labonte have passed Gordon, and now Schrader's trying his best to pass him back.
I don't know if it's the fact that those left side tires are totally giving up on him, or what the deal is. There's Jeff Green going on the inside. He's driving the 30 car this week in replacement of Derek Cope on the inside of Kenny Schrader. Tried to make a pass, but couldn't.
Jeff Green is the 30 car is running 17th, 1 lap down.
Check the speeds at the line as Bobby Hamilton comes down and completes lap 452.
And to no one's surprise, Bobby Hamilton is the fastest car.
Yep.
Ted Musgrave was 3rd fastest.
That 43 car, John Andretti, Robbie Lewis, and those guys have done a very good job on that race car because he's hanging pretty tough. And as Jerry Punch just reported, left side's got a lot of laps on him. And only changed the 2 rights the last time.
Yep, that's pretty impressive.
There's 3rd place Dale Jarrett, Ted Musgrave, Randy LaJoie is 4th.
John Andretti was quicker that time.
Rusty was 3rd fastest. And he's a long way back. Rusty is 8.5 seconds behind the leader.
Oh, Rusty almost lost control that time. Ned, what happens right now with 45 laps to go if the caution comes out? First of all, who needs a caution flag right now?
Well, I'd say that Rusty Wallace needs one. That let him close up at 8.5 seconds he's behind. And certainly, I think anybody other than maybe the first 4 positions would like to see a caution.
And Rusty Wallace is so slow that right now that Joe Nemechek is going by. I don't think the 4 car would like to see a caution flag right now. No, I don't think that Dale Jarrett would like to see a caution flag because he's pitted on the backstretch.
Exactly.
You mentioned that Jeff Gordon had lost a couple of positions recently, that his car wasn't working quite as well as it has, so he probably would want one.
We'd love to see one right now because Jeff Gordon is now 12.5 seconds behind Bobby Hamilton.
As Hamilton goes to start-finish line, Gordon is not even halfway down the backstretch. So he's more than half a lap behind.
Andretti's about a second behind Hamilton, and then he has almost a 2-second advantage on Jarrett.
Jarrett has almost a 3-second advantage on LaJoie.
Riding along with Jerry Nadeau. Four laps down in 28th. Andretti coming up on Hut Strickland. Jeremy Mayfield has also lost some positions here recently. He was up around 6th or so, and now is back to 10th.
Right in front of him, that's the 9th place car.
Now Earnhardt made a pit stop on that last caution. Of course, he was at the tail end of the lead lap and was smart going, so he was moved up several positions as a result of that.
There you see Jeremy Mayfield has been mostly in the middle of the pack. 3 laps in positions 21st or worse, 68 between 1st and 5th, but most between 6th and 10th. Bill Weber.
And he probably won't improve that track position as this race winds down. He has told his crew that his brakes basically are gone. So Jeremy's going to try and nurse that Mobil 1 Taurus to the checkered flag and hang on to every position he can, but no brakes for Mayfield here down the stretch.
That was seat 3 and 33. That was Jeremy Mayfield right in front of him. 3 and 33 are battling for position 8.
Schrader was up there in second place, but his car just won't stick down on that inside. Earnhardt's going to go by.
And the leader is about a straightaway behind these cars as Earnhardt takes that spot away.
Brett Bodine just went a lap down. He is in 14th place now. There are 13 cars on the lead lap.
Besides his win at Daytona, Earnhardt has recorded a top 10 finish at Las Vegas, but that has been it. But he's in the top 10 today, currently 8th.
And there we see the 4th place battle between Musgrave and LaJoie.
And Musgrave takes it with ease. Archer right on up towards the front. Now he's about 3 seconds behind Dale Jarrett.
And look who's going a lap down in 13th position. He was having a good run, but now Bill Elliott is a lap down. Hamilton continues just to breeze along here this afternoon, but still anything can happen in the closing laps. They're the top 10. Back in a moment. Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for the last few laps of the Goody's Headache Powder 500. ESPN's Wednesday night baseball doubleheader coming up at 7:30. The White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. And then at 10:30, it's the Orioles against the Anaheim Angels. Wednesday's baseball doubleheader on ESPN. So we got 26 laps to go, make that 25 as Hamilton crosses the line. He has a 1.5 second advantage on John Andretti.
Did you know the fastest car on the racetrack is right now? We've talked about him several times. It's Ted Musgrave.
Yeah.
He is really coming up towards, he's actually cut the lead down on Bobby Hamilton. He was about 7 seconds behind. Now he's only about 5.5. Of course, Hamilton's been in that heavy traffic, but he has cut Jarrett from a 3-second lead down to about a second.
Well, there is Jarrett, who is still in 3rd spot. And now Ted Musgrave behind him. Bill Weber has more from the pit area.
And it has been a great run for Ted. He's driven a good race. He's had a good car. But James Ince and this crew have had a great day. They had a plan. They stuck with it. 4 tires every time, except when we think we might have to gamble late in the race. They took 2 just before the 400 lap mark at lap 388. But the next time they came back in and put 4 more on. They think they've still got a good shot. Not a lot of laps left. But anyway, it looks like they're going to have a great finish, barring any terribly poor luck here in the closing laps.
Another good finish would be for Randy LaJoie in the 50 car.
Yeah, he's running in 5th place and has a good margin on Rusty Wallace, who is running in 6th place, so that would be a great run for him.
His last top 5 finish for the Bud car was Rockingham last October. Ray, meanwhile, has an update on Randy LaJoie.
Well, Bob, pretty interesting because on that last pit stop, they lowered the track bar on the 50 car, and Randy says it's running the best that it has all day. Now, their best finish this year was a 10th at Bristol, but boy, wouldn't a top 5 make that team feel awful good. And oh, by the way, this is Randy's first race at Martinsville.
Now Ted Musgrave has moved into 3rd place and is 5.3 seconds behind the leader. Does he have time to catch him? Only 20 to go.
No, I don't think he does. And he's got a lot of cars to pass before he would get there. Even if he had open racetrack, I don't think he'd have enough time to do that. And who knows, the 4-car might be just cooling it right now. He might could run faster.
Oh, a little paint trading there between Presley and Spencer. Robert Presley is 3 laps down in 24th as Hamilton continues to cruise along.
Cruising is probably the correct word for it. And see Ernie Irvin just a few car lengths in front of Bobby Hamilton.
Ernie is running in 10th place and not far from going a lap down, and not far in front of him is Jeremy Mayfield.
Jerry Punch, what do you hear about the 4-car?
Well, Benny, you were exactly right. He is indeed just cruising. Robert Larkin said, we're not going to take a chance now. We're not going to punish the car, the brakes, the drivetrain. It's just got to hang together for about 15 more laps. We'll get our first W on the year and our first ever at Martinsville.
There's the interval back to John Andretti, 1.3 seconds.
He's gained a little bit on Bobby Hamilton, John Andretti I'm talking about. And we don't have, and we see the 4-car was the fastest that time.
But Dale Earnhardt has been showing up there in either first or second.
Yeah, he has been fast. He made a pit stop on that last caution. He was the last car on the lead lap. Very smart. Came in, put on 4 new tires, and has marched back through the field up to 7th place now.
See, Ernie Irvin has gone a lap down the Skittles Pontiac, who ran so well earlier on.
Andretti shaved the lead down about 0.3 of a second that lap. There you see Earnhardt second fast that time after Andretti.
And Earnhardt's about to catch Rusty Wallace for the 6th position. There we see Rusty Wallace and Earnhardt. And he's got him.
How about that? Dale has 15 top 5s and 20 top 10s in his 38 races here. Those yellow marks over there on the right. Now we're showing you the interval, but the white and the yellow marks indicate who is the fastest.
And John Andretti is still very, very quick out there after all these laps on those tires.
Here they tend to go when they come back.
I don't know what he can do in 10 laps.
Well,
we'll find out.
Yep, Hamilton get caught up in traffic. Anything can happen here in the last 10 laps.
Probably move over and let him go, Ernie Irvin. As we think that the 4 might have something left, if he needs to step on the accelerator a little bit harder, who knows?
I'm sure that John Andretti is doing everything he can right now to catch that 4-car. In the last 2 or 3 laps, he has not gained anything. It's still about 1.4 second advantage between the first and second place car.
And Ted Musgrave has stopped gaining on the leaders. He gotten all that heavy traffic, but the leaders have gone through, and he's not gaining anymore. In fact, he's losing a little bit of ground to him now. He's a little over 6 seconds behind.
Kenny Irwin running between the first and second cars. Kenny is back in 19th spot, 2 laps down. Well, here's once again Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Gordon, except now they're about to get lapped.
And that is a battle for position. Jeremy Mayfield is running in 9th. Jeff Gordon running in 8th. Jeremy moves over, lets the faster car go by. He's going to try to follow that 4-car through.
And 43's off the pace. He's way off the pace.
Wow, John Andretti running second, drops off the pace here with less than 6 laps to go.
Oh, man, oh, man. I wonder if he can run out of gas.
Surely not. Could be, though. I don't know.
That's changed 2 tires. They might have not gotten enough fuel in the car.
That's going to move Ted Musgrave up to second position.
Andretti's going to head for the pits. Well,
yes.
He is out of here.
How about that? Wow. Bill Weber.
That's what they told me. He's out of fuel. The STP Pontiac slowly coasting down pit road. 495 laps on the board. The car was not running. He hasn't refired. Now it stalls. He has some fuel in there. They'll have to spray the ether in there again. Once you get it going the first time, it's much more difficult. You got to go in the second time. It stalls again. The crew pushing him down pit road, and a great day for Andretti comes to a terrible close.
Meanwhile, down the straightaway comes Bobby Hamilton, completing the 497th lap, 3 to go. Earnhardt and Randy LaJoie are battling for fourth.
Earnhardt has marched through this field since he came out of the pits. He was in 14th position and now trying to take over fourth. That's the old Earnhardt of old.
Yes, it is. One time, remember, he was a lap down to the field.
Right. Got his lap back and still in fifth at the moment. Randy LaJoie fighting to hold on.
Dale Jarrett would be the big gainer in the point standings. If they were awarded now, he would move up 3 spots.
White flag is out.
One more lap to go for Bobby Hamilton. Clear sailing ahead. He's got John Andretti, who was behind him, now just ahead of him on this final lap. But Andretti has lost a lap. It is an 18th. Here's Bobby Hamilton taking the checkered flag and winning the Goody's Headache Powder 500 at Martinsville, collecting his 3rd career victory.
And Dale Earnhardt got by Randy LaJoie.
Musgrave will finish second, Jarrett third, and then Dale Earnhardt finishes fourth to Randy LaJoie's fifth. Bill Weber.
With a very soggy Robert Larkins, who got the Gatorade shower, not even able to congratulate his... Robert, congratulations. A big victory for you and your crew here at Martinsville.
Yeah, it was. The whole Kodak team, they did a good job. They built this car in a week, and we went testing Greenville Pickens, and it run great there. We come in, said that's all we're going to do. Come to run here. They did an excellent job preparing this car, and Bobby did a great job dodging traffic and soft shooting around this place.
Well, congratulations. Head on to victory lane. Bobby Hamilton and his crew with a big Kodak moment in Martinsville.
Bobby Hamilton has done it, and man, was he impressive today.
He was that.
There was never a doubt that he was going to win the race if the car would hold up, because he was even back in traffic for a couple of times today, and each time was able to move up through and gain the lead again. In the McDonald's winner's circle is the Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Bobby Hamilton getting the tape off his ears, getting the helmet pulled off. The crew has not just getting in here. They're out of breath from celebrating themselves, jumping on and off the pit wall. And Bobby Hamilton gets the Kodak hat on, the sunglasses. We'll let him climb out of the car. He's been in there for a long afternoon. We'll go ahead and let him climb out. He wants to get a big wipe on the Gatorade towel. What a performance by Bobby Hamilton. 40 years of age. His last winning coming October 27th, 1997 at Rockingham. Getting his 3rd career victory, first of 1998, and the first at Martinsville, Virginia. Here comes the winner of the 43rd running of the Goody's 500 out of his race car. Well, Bobby Hamilton, to sum up your performance today, it was a domination by one car that was a class of the field.
I'm tired, Jerry. I stood up in that seat all day long, you know. If you don't think NASCAR didn't make the right decision on the 5-5 rule, these things had air pushes at Martinsville. So I knew it was really important to stay out front and keep clean air to the nose of the car. But Charlie Broomholzer puts the bodies on. Zeke, what'd you say your brother's name was? You got to say hi to Russell. All the guys at the shop, you guys, they built a brand new car a week and a half ago. This thing was a hull. It was a wreck from here 2 years ago. They just shoved it in a corner. I told them I wanted that kind of chassis. They put it together. It just made for a good day. Kodak, it's great, man.
Not only the lion's share of a $1.8 million purse, but $106,400 extra from the 76 Racing Challenge.
That's good. I think we led the halfway money and got that, so If you're going to do it, might as well do it right. That's what the 24 does to us.
How about traffic? You were back in traffic a couple times by virtue of problems on pit road with the right rear tire possibly, but you moved right back through, marched right back to the front.
What it was more than anything, we didn't really lose that much on 4 tires. If everybody took 4 tires, but everybody's taking on 2 tires, and that would set us back. But it'd take them about 10 or 15 laps, and all of a sudden their 2 tires would give up, and we'd come on.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate it.
Bobby Hamilton in victory lane for the first time in 1998. His first win at Martinsville, and these guys now go to a track they love a lot, Talladega Super Speedway.
Coming up next Sunday, here are the results. The yellow arrows indicate those drivers who led a lap, and the double arrows show that Bobby Hamilton led the most laps. There were 6 cars on the lead lap when the checkered flag dropped.
And 3 of those in the top 5 pitted on the backstretch.
That's right. Yep. Now 16 through 30. Andretti, second place with less than 5 laps to go when the car ran out of fuel, finished 18th. And now the remainder of the finish here at Martinsville.
And David Green had hard crash down in turn 1 and 2, would finish 43rd today, but David Green was okay.
Now the points. Wallace and Mayfield and Labonte stay first, second, and third. Jarrett gains 3. Gordon stays the same. Mark Martin down 2. Elliott down 1. Earnhardt up 1. Schrader up 4. And Jeff Burton loses 2 positions. And folks, next week, it's Talladega. This Friday, as a matter of fact, qualifying at 2 o'clock on the Deuce. Busch Series racing at 4 o'clock on ABC Saturday. Happy hour on the Deuce at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. NASCAR Today precedes our live coverage of the Die Hard 500 from Talladega. That will be on ABC Sports at 1 o'clock Eastern Time this coming Sunday. Coming up next, the NBA Fantastic Series. Awesome endings, great moments in the NBA. Bobby Hamilton wins here. My thanks to Ray Dunlap, Jerry Punch, Bill Weber, Benny Parsons, and Ned Jarrett. We'll see you this coming Friday. Don't forget about RPM tonight at 7 o'clock with John Kernan with all the results from the world of motorsports. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.